Kimbani Bari Wadawarangja, Kijanich, King Kimba, what a niche, Jinjin Bar, what a niche. I say, welcome. This is Wadawarang country. Let us all come together, walk together, and learn in peace. We acknowledge the original custodian of the land, my people, the Wadawurrung people of the Kulin Nation, and recognise all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islanders' unique cultural and spiritual connections to lands, waters and seas. We pay our respect to elders, past, present and emerging, to all other Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people here present and across the nation, for we hold the memories, the traditions, the culture and the hopes of our future generations. I thank Norm for walking beside me. I thank Bunjil, the creator of this land in which we stand and meet upon. Niani Bagabara, Wadawurrung. Thank you and take care on Wadawurrung country.
The ceremony taking place below our broadcast position, the second week of Sir Doug Nicholls round 11 of the AFL. It's Geelong and Adelaide from Kardinia Park on Grandstand AFL on ABC Radio and ABC Sport Digital. Great to hear from Adelaide Crows coach Matthew Nicks, so close to the opening bounce. Matt Clinch alongside Aaron Bryans to call the action. Mark McClure and Adam Ramanauskas are your experts, with Lauren Borden down on the boundaries. So no late changes for either side. Quentin Narkle, the sub for the Cats, and Chase Jones for the Crows. So, of course, the game being played on the traditional owners of the Wadawurrung people, which is just in front of the centre circle here at Kardinia Park. And the two sides, Aaron, wearing their special Indigenous jerseys, which is one of the highlights of the weekend's footy of this week and last. And some of the nice stories that come out as the clubs pay tribute to their past players and their traditional roots with their Indigenous heritage.
Two magnificent Guernseys, Clinchy. The Crows one they've actually been wearing throughout the year as part of the AFLW and the Sandful sides as well, so they've shared it amongst the entire club. But designed by Pat Caruso for the Adelaide Crows, who's an Eastern Arenti man. It features the Aboriginal adaptation of the Ghana shield perched on its chest, and then they've got male and female hands with wings and fingerprints surrounding with feathers as well. There's a secondary shield as well at the base surrounded by footprints. The Geelong Guernsey designed by Wadawurrung woman Karina Eccles. It also features the word geelong on the back, which is the Wadawurrung term for Geelong. It's got a sunrise on the front that depicts the two teams coming together to play. And as you just heard in the Welcome to Country as well, it has a bunjil, which is a wedge-tailed eagle, the creator of the land, and that also watches over the country that was created. So two magnificent Guernseys, Clinchy. It's great to have a fortnight to celebrate Indigenous culture and heritage as well. And we've got a few interesting players with Indigenous backgrounds today. The main one, Tyson Stengel, who used to play for the Crows, now at Geelong, and has really found his form sellers over the past couple of weeks. Was, I guess, disrupted off-field at the Adelaide Crows, had plenty of issues, but during the week he spoke to the media and essentially said the guidance from Eddie Betts this year has really given him a level head.
Well, let me tell you, he's the only small forward who is really good in their side at this stage. I think they needed a small forward. They didn't have one who could score, and Stengel's really stood up. He's the second best goal scorer in the competition besides Cameron.
He and Brad Close, Tyson Stengel are both playing that role. So we're seeing the Indigenous players gather in the middle of Kardinia Park. So Wayne Miller alongside Ben Keys, Shane McAdams out there as well. And then for Geelong, there's Stengel, Narkle and Parfitt with Joel Selwood as well. Just a quick chat with Tom Hawkins as they made their way out to the middle. If we win the toss, which way do you want to be kicking for? So good to see the Cats on the same page there. And normally the traditional exchanging of gifts that take place before the game. But a great occasion for the Crows to try and test themselves, Rammer, against the Cats. And the debutant of Shannon Neal, who has some family who's made the trek over there. They've got the signage of Go Shaz. So we'll keep an eye on him, the 200-centimetre teenager on debut this afternoon.
Yeah, we will. And look, the beauty of Shannon Neal coming in, he comes in some sort of form as well. So he's not just being gifted a game of of football. But I think your word that you use for the Crows, they've got to test themselves today. They actually find out, okay, yep, they're playing against one of the big boys of the competition. Where are we actually? Where do we actually sit with our game? Where do we sit with our contest? Where do we sit with our attack? You know, I know Tex Walker's not playing today, but it gives an opportunity for Phil Thorpe to show what he can do, and Fogarty coming back into the team. So, you know, if I'm a Crows fan, I'm excited about today because it just shows you, it gives you a sense of, okay, what are we actually as a team? Whereas I think for Geelong, Sellers, it's got to be similar to the second half last week against Port, where they just steamrolled them.
Round 11 of the AFL, Sir Doug Nichols round. It's Geelong and Adelaide. Here's Aaron Bryans.
Nice high bounce in the middle. O'Brien bits split subs and then gets the clearance as well. Just tumbles the kick all the way out to the outer wing. Bounces in space, coming out from halfback. Berry overran it. Gathered by Isaac Smith for the Cats. Hands it off to Duncan. Nice little 1-2. Right halfback as the Cats head up towards the city end. Parfitt with a couple of hands in the back on Berry. Didn't give away the free, but enabled the ball to clear the pack and over the boundary line. It'll be tossed back into play just forward of centre wing for the Cats. No score so far. Aaron Bryans, Matt Clinch, Adam Ramanauskas, Mark McClure with you.
And the final member of our team, Lauren Borden on the boundary. Lauren, welcome to you. Far better afternoon on a Saturday down here in Geelong.
It's absolutely beautiful conditions down here. It's probably 14 degrees, full sun though. Really nice to be out here. Like you mentioned before, Quinton Narkle, medical sub for Geelong, and Chase Jones for Adelaide.
Thanks, Lauren. Isaac Smith kicks the Cats up towards half forward where Neil's involved but can't get a disposal away as Tom Duday lays the tackle for the Adelaide Crows. The umpire will throw it up 40 metres out from the Cats' goal, heading to the construction end or the Melbourne end in this opening term. Cats coming off a good win against Port Adelaide last week. From the stoppage, it comes down the way of Brown, gets the hand pass to Haitley for the Crows, kicks up towards half-back. To Koning was there for the Cats, spoils it down to Kolajasny. Hand pass back to Mitch Duncan, who can work it all the way back to the Hickey wing to Stewart. He looks to turn and come inboard, and Isaac Smith takes the mark.
Fogarty should have gone for that ball. Seriously, it's honestly just didn't go.
Isaac Smith heads high inside 50. Neil gets a run at it but couldn't claim it in the marking contest, but goes again at ground level. Gets a handball out to Blitzsavs. He turns it straight over to Saligo. Under pressure, he tried to get to Rowe. Cam Guthrie was there. Messy footy now at left half forward for the Cats. Rowe shovels a handball out to the boundary line. He hit up McAdam, tried to push it forward for the Crows. Sitting back was Stewart. Back inside 50 go Geelong. O'Brien was sitting in the hole and couldn't claim the mark. At ground level, he gets a handball out towards Keys. Then butts further wide to Haitley. Heads up the Hickey wing down the line and hits Dawson. Back with the flight, takes a mark centre wing.
Dawson looks up further afield, wants to loop the kick over the top to Keys. Kolajasny's trying to protect Stace at half forward. Feeds the hand pass back to Dawson, running the boundary. Kicks along, McAdam up early, clears him and bounces through.
Free kick. Come on, Clinchy.
I was just riding the long shot on goal. Call the highlight rammer, don't worry about the umpire's whistle.
Free kick. 80 metres.
Yeah, it was. Free kick going the Cats' way, and Mitch Duncan takes it in the back pocket. Short to Tui, who in turn finds Myers still inside the defensive 50.
So just watching Riley O'Brien at the moment, every occasion he's sitting the kick behind play. So you got Butts with Hawkins and Murray with Jeremy Cameron, just trying to provide protection to him.
Myers kicks up to Hawkins at front position. Hand pass comes forward to Smith. He can't quite regather for the Cats, hard against the boundary, and Hamill takes it out of play. Would have been a good goal from Dawson. What, 70 metres?
Would have been terrific.
65?
Yeah, you called it beautifully, Clinchy.
Thanks. Over to you, Aaron.
Toss back in. It'll be right half forward for the Cats. Alex Wetton, Robert Finlay, Paul Rebashini, your umpires this afternoon as well. Blitzsavs in front position, wins it down straight to Keys, the Crows skipper. Fends off Stengel, gets a handball out to Laird, then back to Smith and now Brown. Around the body, heads up towards centre wing. O'Brien collides with Murphy and Cam Guthrie and forces it over the boundary line in the end. The text line, if you'd like to get in touch across the afternoon, 0437 774 774 as well. No late changes. Chase Jones, the sub for the Crows. Quinton Narkle for the Cats.
So you realise, Aaron, feedback is given freely in this commentary box.
Yeah, don't take any of it too much to heart from the throw-in. Everyone's free game. A free kick going Adelaide's way from the stoppage. So it's going to be Lachlan Murphy's at half-back. So no score still inside the opening 4 minutes as he drives Adelaide towards half-forward. Riley O'Brien set himself, couldn't take the mark with Zach Guthrie in front, pitched away by Thilthorpe, dribbles a kick inside 50 for Adelaide, but Stewart's loose, gathers, then tackled by McHenry, didn't get a clean hand pass away, still a chance for the Crows. Haitley with the hand pass to Rowe, hard against the boundary, kicks long to the goal mouth, McAdam almost pulled in the mark, the umpire says it was touched, and Parfitt locks it up at the top of the goal square for the Adelaide Crows.
I think it hit the ground.
He said it was touched.
Yeah.
So ball up at the top of the square for Adelaide. Can they strike first? Thilthorpe wins it down. Couple of Cats swarm. Early tackle laid there by McAdam. Ball heavily contested. Laird somehow got it out to Keys. He just had to throw a boot at it. Went backwards, but it works. Sits up nicely for Jackson Haitley, who takes the contested grab, 35 out, slight angle to the left.
What a great pass by Keys. Do you think he was going there?
No, he was just trying to get it out, I think.
Yeah, it certainly went backwards.
Works
But
well.
that's okay. It works well. They've competed well already. You can see that around the pack. So they've won the ruck hit-outs. Their clearance area is very good. They're pushing the ball forward. They're moving it quickly. And they're about to kick a goal.
2 goals, 3 for the year. Jackson Haitley, the former Giant, strolls in, kicks from 40, shanks it to the right. Minor score kicks off proceedings at Cardinia Park. 5 minutes in, it's Adelaide up by a point against Geelong on Grandstand AFL.
That wasn't a hard kick.
No.
Perfect afternoon for Saturday afternoon footy as Mitch Duncan brings the Cats back into play to Stewart, kicks over the head of Tui, running onto it. Evans couldn't get a hand pass away, and in the end O'Connor is happy to lay the tackle and see it out for a boundary throw in. Lauren Borden on the boundary.
Joel Sowell just getting ready to come on for the first time today. Started the game on the bench, actually, so standing around, ready to come back on today.
Thanks, Lauren. Spent a bit more time on the wing. Joel Selwood in season 2022 from the throw-in. Tui can't get a disposal away. Parfitt can for the Cats. Hand pass to Cam Guthrie. Gives the hand pass to Atkins and back to Guthrie. Squeeze the kick towards the boundary line, but Adelaide are well set, and Butts takes the mark with the job on Hawkins this afternoon and positioned himself well in front, awaiting that kick. Adelaide by a point through the opening 6 minutes.
Speaking of jobs, Clinchy, I think Tom Atkins is putting some attention into Ben Keys at times as Butts heads down towards right half forward. Riley O'Brien was in the marking contest and nudged out of it. Free kick to Adelaide, too far out to score. Riley O'Brien comes into the side after 37 touches in the sandful as a ruck. Sends his kick towards the top of the goal square. Fogarty can get a run. He's caught behind Blitzapps. Forced to spoil. Trickles towards the boundary line. Plenty of players around the footy, but McAdam shovels it out to Murphy. Check side on the left. That would have been impressive. Minor score through the right-hand side. Adelaide up by 2 behinds. Yeah, the only scores so far as we approach the 7-minute mark of the opening term.
So Isaac Smith with the footy in his hands as he looks at options to bring Geelong back into play. Did play at times on half forward last week. Goes long and strong towards Neil, but they're well set in front of him, and Dawson takes the mark for the Adelaide Crows.
Got a great leg, this boy.
Sure does. Looks at options inside the 50. The Cats have pushed a couple of numbers back, so Dawson veers out to the left, kicks looking for McAdam down low. This time he's got it. Deep in the right forward pocket. Not sure it was lace out intended for him, but he made it work, and a chance for the Crows to have a third consecutive shot on goal and kick the first goal of the match.
Sometimes it's good to kick it to space. Kick it into a space and let someone run onto it, and McAdam did so. Took it in very well. He needs to finish this off. They've had an easy shot before. This needs to be a goal.
In a game in which they're missing their 2 leading goal scorers, Shane McAdam hoping to lead the charge from deep in the left forward pocket, comes in and he threw his hands back immediately, didn't like it off the boot, missed to the near side, to the left side. Adelaide are 3 behind, so Geelong yet to score. 8 minutes gone, opening term ABC Sport.
They don't want to lose confidence, that's one of the keys. Those 2 blokes have missed 2 goals and easy shots.
So Geelong through Kolodjasny heads to Zach Guthrie, who kicks straight into the smother of Jackson Haitley. Rolled over the boundary line, so it'll be tossed back into play inside Adelaide's attacking 50. They've done well with their pressure run.
They've been terrific. They've locked this ball in now for the last 4 minutes in this first quarter. So the pressure is something that I think they should be really happy with the start of this game.
Thilthorpe again in the ruck beats Blitzab. Spilled down though to Kolodjasny. Quick clearing kick out towards right half back. In the contest, both Hinge and Evans go to ground and knock the ball over the boundary line. Left half forward for the Adelaide Crows, kicking to the players' stand end. They're up by 3 points at the moment. Aaron Bryans, Matt Clinch, Mark McClure, Adam Ramanauskis with you. Toss back into play. Blitzabs against O'Brien this time. Neither got a clean tap. Blitzavs can run onto the footy, immediately tackled by Murphy, swung him to ground, and the umpire says, I'll have it. Just inside the 50 left forward pocket for the Adelaide Crows, up by 3. We've played 9 minutes in the opening term.
Inside 50s, 5 apiece, so a relatively even contest so far. O'Brien knocked it down. A chance for Adelaide, hard against the boundary. Matt Crouch puts it to the teeth of goal. Zach Guthrie spoils it through for a minor score, just a metre out from his defensive goal. Adelaide 4 behinds to Geelong, yet to score through 9 minutes. Opening term on ABC Sport. Matt Clinch, Aaron Bryans, Mark McClure, Adam Ramanauskas and Lauren Borden on the boundary.
Mitch Duncan playing in defence again for the second consecutive week. Kicks it out of defensive 50 to Zach Guthrie. Down the line to a contest. Forced to spoil is Shannon Neal. It'll roll over the boundary line. Centre wing in front of the Reg Hickey stand.
Well, Geelong hasn't scored. That's a real victory already for the Adelaide Crows, I think, at this stage. They've kept the ball in their forward line. They've pushed it over the line when they needed to. Done very well.
6 touches to Duncan, Stewart and Smith early for the Cats. 4 to Ben Keys for the Crows, but they've had the chances. Evans now off the ruck contest, tried to get a handball out to Hinge, just paddled it to Selwood. Underground kick along the deck was picked up by Keys. Retreats back to Haitley, his kick smothered. The Crows just trying to surge forward. Atkins comes through to cut it off, gives it to Close. There's a whistle on the play for a throw. And it's coming back to Adelaide on the outer wing at left half back. The Adelaide Crows will get another chance to go forward, up by 4 points, 10.5 played. Unfortunately, they're going to have to go all the way back to the Construction City end, Sellers, to get the footy.
To retreat the footy. Meanwhile, in the other match taking place is the Giants 2-1-13, leading the Brisbane Lions 1-1-7 at the Gabba. Traditionally a high-scoring affair between those two sides. Crows on half-back. Haitley looks to send it around the Hickey wing. Big fly from Dawson. Down the back, it's picked up by Blitzavs of the Cats. He kicks a high ball all the way above the top of the stand. Have a fly at that, and Jessica Cameron did. Almost came down with a mark at the back. Murray scraps with it for him. Berry comes out with a hand pass to Hinge for the Crows. His kick is too wide in the end for Riley Thilthorpe. Out of bounds on the full. Cats to take it back through Mark Blitzavs. Adelaide leading by 4 points, early stages, first quarter.
It's just been absolutely locked on that Reg Hickey side of the ground, whether it's been inside Adelaide's forward 50 or up around the wing. Now Stewart's switching just to get some movement.
Dangerous kick, though, that set up a bit long for Kolajasny. Fogarty made a contest, but just couldn't bring the ball to ground. Kolajasny takes the contested mark. Sends his kick to Duncan at half-back. Now he looks back towards the Hickey stand wing. 2-on-2 awaits there, and Smith did brilliantly. Plucks it away from Murphy, but then threw a handball into space in front of Blitzavs. Put him under a bit of pressure. He did very well. Tries to give it to his skipper, Selwood. Haitley's there to cut it off for the Crows. Messy football as Geelong try to go forward. Handball out to Parfitt. Pops it up over the top. Was intended for Atkins. He became the tackler on Crouch. Was there prior? Umpire says no. Ball up on the paint of 50 for the Cats.
What's their prior? He sidestepped twice.
Could this be the first chance at goal for the Cats?
You normally tell a bit in the first 15 minutes what you're going to get from Geelong. O'Brien taps it down. Beautifully sharp by Stengel. Hard against the boundary. Goes the outside of the boot. It's across the face. Hawkins trying to lunge his body back. He can't pull in the mark against Butts. I think Stengel was having the shot to give him credit.
Yeah, that was almost an impossible spot to kick from. And he should have just popped it to the top of the square. They had 2 players standing there. A bit of teamwork wouldn't go straight.
Adelaide by 4 points. Geelong deep in attack. Mark McClure with you on ABC Sport. Thrown back in. Hawkins doing the ruck work against O'Brien. O'Brien palms it down to the front. Myers becomes the tackler on Duday and then follows up with a second tackle on Matt Crouch. It locks the ball 35 metres out from Geelong's goal. Adelaide 4 behinds. Cats yet to score.
Crouch back into the side after averaging 35 in the SANFL over the past 2. Hawkins knocked it down. Stengel overran the footy. Parfitt dives onto it at the bottom of a pack. Somehow got it out towards Atkins. He was immediately wrapped up by O'Brien.
And there's 25 people around the ball. It's incredible around that space.
Ball up where we started. We'll try again. Hawkins again wins it down. Duday was there at the fall of the boot. He gave it to Butts, who missed his foot. Should have been holding the ball. Play continues. Dawson tumbles it back to Brodie Smith. Outside of the boot, he just clears it into space at half-back. O'Connor was waiting for the Cats. Gives it off to Cameron. Shrugs away from Miller. On the left, he loads up. It's carrying. And it's through for a minor score on the right-hand side. Just too much of a hook on the kick. Geelong at least on the board. It took 13 and a half minutes to get there. 4 behinds to 1. Adelaide up by 3 on Grandstand AFL.
Absolutely no flow in this game whatsoever. No handball receives are lacking, runs lacking. It's very contested style at the moment by both teams.
Brody Smith brings the Crows back into play. A lace out kick to McHenry, dropped the mark, gets the hand pass to McAdam, trying to get it back to Crouch, turned it over. Zach Guthrie to close for Geelong, under pressure to Evans, back to Zach Guthrie on 50, good smother McAdam. Sees the ball out of play, a throw in 50 metres out from the Cats' goal. It's Geelong 1 behind, Adelaide 4 behind, opening 14 minutes.
It's not a pretty game.
Nope.
You can see that, but which they're trying hard, the Adelaide Crows, to stifle Geelong. That's what they're supposed to do.
Yep, correct.
At least it's a close one, Sellers. Toss back into play. Cameron beat O'Brien's, tapped it straight to Parfitt. From 40, he snaps towards goal. Hawkins is waiting there and marks on the behind line.
You reckon it's a close one? Not now.
Tom Hawkins on the tightest of angles will have to come around in the left forward pocket. Opens the angle and converts. The 33-year-old's on the board at Cardinia Park, and so are the Cats as they take the lead by 3. 1-1-7 plays 4 behinds, 15 minutes into the opening quarter on Grandstand AFL. Your experts, Mark McClure and Adam Ramanauskas.
So we've said there's no flow in this game at the moment. So the Crows have come in with a plan. They want to keep the ball in close, tackle, pressure, harass, knock on, kick along the ground, try to create territory that way. I think Geelong, just in the last couple of minutes, have recognised that. They've just started to stand off their opponent a little bit now to try to start to create some space with their direct opponent. I look at that marking contest there with Hawkins and Butts. Tom Hawkins is the best contested mark in the competition at the moment. I don't understand why you wrestle with him. If you're Jordan Butts, stand off him a metre or two, then come in and try spoil. That ball, where the free kick was given, was right on the goal line.
Adam Ramanauskas with you on ABC Sport. Cats with the first goal of the match from the middle of the ground. Tom Atkins lays a good tackle on Rory Laird, trying to bust his way through and get the clearance of the Crows. Quickly thrown back up. O'Brien against Neal, one down the tap. Chance for Matt Crouch, you have around the footy. Laird tries to get a hand pass clear. Umpire says holding the footy. Either that or a throw, and the Cats will take it back in the middle of the ground. So Tom Atkins to take it. Looks out to the broadcast side and kicks to Buse. A little bit frustrated that Cats don't move it directly forward.
It's just a nothing kick. It just allows Riley O'Brien to go and stand inside forward 50 now.
If you watch Jeremy Cameron, seriously, he has run 200 metres already trying to get a lead.
Out the wing to Duncan. Got it to Buse, to Stevens, kicks inside 50, and the Crows are well set. Hamill takes the mark in the right back pocket.
That's the result there, Clinchy. So they muck around with it with 3 or 4 possessions. They finally kick it in. Adelaide have got enough players. Hamill takes an easy mark.
The Crows switch through Rowe, then down the line to Dawson. Marks just behind centre wing.
Got no players in front of the ball.
Plenty of Cats waiting for it, though. Jordan Dawson doesn't know what to do. The umpire's called him to move, so he'll bang it down the line. It's a flat kick intended for Miller. It bounced right off his chest to De Koning. Gave it off to Atkins. It was a run down from behind. Didn't realise the time and space he didn't have. Now Miller can go. Gives it to Laird. Flat kick into the 50 and hits McAdam. Dropped to his knees. Read it in the air and takes the mark for the Crows. 40 out from goal, slight angle to the left.
It was the only kick that Laird could make. Because if he went long, there's nobody in that goal square. So McAdam had to come back at him and provide that lead, because Buse had just dropped off those couple of metres. And it was a pretty simple sort of double back lead by McAdam. But the patience by Rory Laird just to hold that ball that extra split second.
The Kija and Jaru man, Shane McAdam, has one behind so far this afternoon, but 7 goals in his last 3. Leans back on the kick from 45. This one looks more straight, but it started left, so it's a minor score again for the Crows. 5 behinds. Geelong at 1-1-7. 18 minutes played.
That actually kills you.
Well,
they've had so many easy shots and they can't get them.
There should be 3 goals.
At least.
They're doing a lot right, Adelaide, but they're not finishing on the scoreboard. Tom Stewart runs his full measure, gains 15, kicks long up to the wing. Neal's there, brought it down to the front. Cats have the numbers. Myers cuts through traffic. Hand pass to Duncan. Back to Neal, run into a dead end. Tackled by Haitley. Got the hand pass back to Myers. Over the head of Cam Guthrie with a hand pass. Hamill's hand pass intercepted by Myers. Through it. Knocked it forward to close. Kicks inside 50. The pack's there. It's spoiled away from Evans and Cameron. And Hamill hard against the boundary. He is happy to see it across. 50 metres out from Geelong's goal. What stage do the Lions get worried? The Giants 5-1-31 to Brisbane 1-1-7. Time on in the opening term at the Gabba. Now, Rammer?
Absolutely.
5 goals to 1.
So toss back into play. Geelong's attacking 50 just inside the paint. missed both rucks. Trickles just outside to Matt Crouch, who uses Jackson Haitley, who slipped, trying to get a handball to his ruck in O'Brien. O'Brien puts his head over the footy, threw it back over his head and intercepted by Tui. Now the Cats through Hawkins, a wide kick into the right forward pocket. Is too wide, out on the full. Free kick to Adelaide in the left back pocket. Speaking of the Crows in accuracy, it plagued them last week against the Saints. 9 goals, 15.
Yeah. Well, they've started again.
5 behinds in this opening term against Geelong. Rory Laird now heads long, outside 50, the left half back. De Koning gets an uncontested fly, takes the mark, pops it short to Hawkins. He's 55 out right half forward. Heads back on the mark. He could load up if he wanted to. Plenty of players in the 50. Instead, he'll centre with a flat kick intended for Atkins. Nearly cut off in the end as the fly came from Butts. Cam Guthrie now, tackled as he kicked it. Trickles to Evans, shrugged a tackle. Handball over his head is brilliant to Stevens, who uses Myers. Geelong have 2. The quick kick from 20. And the Cats are up by 8. 2-1-13. Adelaide 5 behinds. Time on in the first on Grandstand AFL.
Well, the Geelong's had 3 shots at goals to Adelaide's 5. And Adelaide should have had 3 goals out of that as well. So, but every mistake you make against the Cats, they hurt you. They just put you away, and all of a sudden a little mistake in the forward half and their back half where they lost the ball, and then a little trip over to Graham Myers, and the game's over. All of a sudden they understand each other. They're a very, very well drilled team, Geelong. And when you make a mistake, you get hurt.
I think right now, the mistake that the Crows are making, they haven't put the time into Tom Stewart. He's up to 8 possessions already. He's had 3 intercepts. So clubs get sucked into Stewart starting on a player, but then he just drifts away and plays in this zone style, what he's so good at. Stewart's always got to have an opponent next to him. You've got to make him accountable.
As the matchup of James Rowe for the moment, and he's exposing that. Back in the middle, Phil Thorpe and Blitzavs. Free kick shepherding Geelong, free kick. Parfa takes the advantage for Geelong, straight down the middle. Hawkins in front position, spoiled it down to the front. Adelaide have the numbers. Hinge with a hand pass to Smith, straight down the middle, but nobody is there, and Jed Buse marks on his chest. The intercepting mark just in front of the 2 centre circles.
Quiet year for the 28-year-old, averaging 8 touches, a career low. Pops it short to Selwood, wasn't 15. Under a bit of pressure, did well. It's further wide to the outer side. Still just inside the square to Tom Stewart.
Look at that kick.
Down the line,
Perfect.
It's brilliant to half forward. Hit the use and he
on.
went. He shouldn't have played on. Phil Thorpe was standing in his way. Quick kick around the body. Hawkins brings it down in the contest. Adelaide swarm. Laird becomes the tackler on Parfitt. Flicked out by Haitley to Crouch. Around the body, he's just looking for territory, but O'Connor's sitting back. Got rid of Dawson and claims it on the paint. Now he heads into the left forward pocket. He's got 3 to choose from. Murray did very well to cut off Jeremy Cameron and force it over the boundary line.
Just that inside 50 count, Sellers, 13-6 now in Geelong's favour.
That was a poor entry too.
Yeah.
There was a couple at the top of the square. They could have made another contest there. They
Just
picked a poor option there.
They're just starting to apply that pressure now, Geelong.
They are.
Cats with 2 goals.
There he goes.
Adelaide kick the first 3 behinds.
There he
Hawkins
goes.
out of the ruck. Hand pass to Stengel. Jams it on the boot. It bounces end over end towards the goal mouth. McHenry got back. Raced into the behind post. I think he was trying to keep it alive. Eventually, by one way or another, he conceded the rush behind. And Geelong by 9.
Guthrie.
It's Brody Smith. That's
Brody
a poor
Smith
kick
with
out.
the kick in.
Yeah.
Turns it straight over to Cam Guthrie.
It's that T space that you provide. So I say the T space, and what I mean by that is you stand off your direct opponent a certain amount of metres, but you know you can get there. And in that case, Guthrie knew he could get there to affect either the mark or the spoil against Laird.
Cam Guthrie looks at the goals from about 45 metres out. He misses to the left. Off the back of 38 disposals and 10 clearances last week against Port Adelaide. The Cats out by 10 points. Time on in the opening quarter here.
Brody Smith tries again. This time he heads long down the line, and Fogarty,
hello.
far from home, takes a nice contested mark. That's what they want to see, the Crows fans. On the
it's
45,
terrible.
it's an awful kick. It wasn't 15 to Laird, who dived low to ground under pressure from Cameron. And now there's a high contact free kick going Adelaide's way. They've escaped the danger on the broadcast
Find the target.
wing. Duncan the offender, and Fogarty gets another chance. He's learnt from his errors. He's going to go long. Bangs it up to right half forward. De Koning gets away from his man and again nearly takes the uncontested mark. Just brought down late. Phil Thorpe got it out towards Rowe in the square. Selwood puts his head over the footy, shovels a handball out to De Koning, and now Zach Guthrie can go. Uses space on the broadcast wing and puts up in front of Shannon Neal. The debutant, 202 centimetres from South Freo. Takes the mark in front of Duday. Plays on. Heads to the left forward pocket. Stengel gets a run. Cameron sitting underneath it. Murray spoils it down. Front and square was Hinge. He nearly turned it over. Murray has to go and make amends. Myers wraps him up. Ball isn't going anywhere. It'll be tossed up, 30 out from goal. 45-degree angle to the left. Cats kicking to the City end.
We spent the last 10 minutes in their forward line. The start it was always in the Adelaide forward line, not now.
Thrown up. Hawkins tries to slap it forward. Ricochets off butts and goes out of play in the left forward pocket for the Cats. Meanwhile, the Giants 7-1-43, leading the Brisbane Lions 2-1-13. Time on opening term.
Hawkins is brilliant in this area.
Here he is doing the ruck work against Riley Thilthorpe. Thilthorpe wins it down to Keys. Gets the hand pass to Haitley. Possession number 7 coming out for him as he kicks long to the wing. Tom Stewart and De Koning are both there. Tries to get a spoil onto it. Charging in was Cooper Stevens. A chance still for the Crows as Haitley around the boundary line. Got it to Fogarty. Hand pass away to McHenry. They link up with McAdam. This is working well. The kick to Miller, a running back with a flight at half forward. Couldn't take the mark. Cam Guthrie rushed him out of it and then won the footy. Somehow squeezed a kick and got it to Buse at left half back. All the experience and wisdom from Cam Guthrie on display there.
Geelong up by 10 points, 2-3-15. Adelaide 5 behinds. 25 played as Buse heads down the broadcast wing. Packer waits in front position. Blitzav's brought it to ground, then gathered off the bounce. Hands it back to Evans, popped it over the top dangerously to Duday, who's immediately wrapped up by Duncan. Ball isn't going anywhere. True centre wing in front of the benches. As we see Riley O'Brien come back on for Wayne Millerer and straight into the ruck as well. Against Paul Mark Blitzavs, who's having to fill the role of Reece Stanley as of late. O'Brien wins it down straight to Berry. Immediately there's a whistle, free kick to Sam Berry. High contact. Close to home out of regional Victoria. A brilliant run of games. The 20-year-old. He'll head up to right half forward for the Crows. McAdam can get a rise. Couldn't claim it. Spilled to Murphy front and square. Guthrie, that's Cam, immediately wraps him up. Ball up to come right half forward for Adelaide.
Geelong by 10 points. Thrown back up. Blitzouts won it down to Cam Guthrie. Squeeze a kick, but it's turned over. Taken back by the Crows. Hamill hard against the boundary, trying to work with Berry. He's taken high by Blitzavs, whose intent was to try and be physical, but his execution was sloppy. And Adelaide with another chance to go inside 50 and try and kick their first goal of the quarter. Unfortunately, Sam Berry's going to have to come off for the blood rule. And Jackson Haitley's going to take the kick. It's not the train home, is it? As Haitley has it at right half forward. Adelaide 5 behind, so Geelong 2-3-15. Haitley just puts it into a dangerous position. Fogarty coming out, marks on his chest. Just put it into the space in which he wanted the forward to lead to.
And that's that kick you talk about, Sellers.
Yeah, that's the one.
You know, rather than trying to put a hole through someone's chest with a bullet pass, the kicker's got responsibility to find where the space is. In that case, Jackson Haitley, everyone had rolled back being the blood rule, but there was still pockets of space. So he just put it in there and said, okay, boy, my forward, you come and get the ball. I'll sit it up there nicely for you, but the rest is up to you.
This is a big kick for Darcy Fogarty, 45-degree angle, kicking from about 35 metres out, looking for Adelaide's first, starts it right, keeps it flat and misses to the right-hand side. So 6 behinds for the Adelaide Crows in this opening term to Geelong's 2-3-15.
There should be 4 goals too.
At least.
Been in the contest, but they haven't been able to finish their work.
Fogarty's goalless run continues, 2 in round 1. He hasn't kicked one since. So he's like 4 of his last 5, he hasn't converted a major.
Can he handball?
He needs to get the ball first. McClure. Tom Stewart clears defensive 50 for the Cats at the back. Buse hands it off to Cameron. Heads long up towards the paint of 50 at left half forward, and O'Brien comes across to spoil it away from Blitzars.
It's really interesting what's going on with Riley O'Brien and Blitzars. I mentioned earlier O'Brien wants to get behind the ball and provide the extra number, but Blitzars is going with him now everywhere.
I agree.
Adam Ramanauskas and Mark McClure with you on ABC Sport. Thrown back in. O'Brien takes it out of the ruck. Kicks up to the wing. Fogarty comes charging out. It won't get to him. Tom Stewart takes the intercepting mark.
He's had a few today.
Possession number 11 coming up. Leading possession getter.
5 marks
on the ground.
Intercepts.
Inside 50. Butt spoils it down for the Crows. Out into the path of Tui, who tries to get away from a would-be tackler. Hand pass to O'Connor. The Irishman on the right. His flying shot on goal is across the face to the left. And sneaks in for a minor score. So Geelong 2-4-16 to Adelaide 6 behinds. 28 minutes gone, opening term on ABC Sport.
Still enough time for a late play from the Crows. They'll need to go end to end. Dudo plays on, heads up to right half forward. McAdams soars, but was a bit too late and couldn't get there in time as Zach Guthrie scores it over the line.
They just do the basics well, Geelong. They know what they have to do in the crisis, and that was perfect there. Just knock it over the line, we'll start again.
2-4-16 playing 6 behinds. Adelaide Crows starting hot early but just couldn't convert. Geelong now taking over. Toss back into play. Blitzav's tried to take it out of the ruck but lost it in the air. Stevens runs onto it. Cameron picks it up. He's under immediate pressure and gave it straight to McHenry. Now Murphy around the body. Tumbled it up towards Jeremy Cameron. He lost it. Benny Hill music at the moment as the Crows finally get a clearance up to right half forward through Laird. There's Cat sitting back, but they lost it on the bounce. In the end, Hughes did very well. Composed himself, pierced it to Selwood in the square, and that should do us for the opening quarter, you'd think, as Selwood chips it short to Zach Guthrie. Geelong with the early lead at Kardinia Park. It hasn't been convincing from either side, but they lead 2-4-16 to 6 behinds.
The goal scorers for the Cats, Hawkins and Myers, while Adelaide have had their opportunities, but they haven't been able to capitalise. As always, love to hear from you on 0437 774 774, as Stephen has done so from South Australia. I'm glad to hear the weather is good in Geelong, as it's absolutely bucketing down here in Adelaide. Thanks, Stephen. And Fran from Melbourne. Hi, team. Heater on. Cup up, listening to your call and commentary, as always, enjoying it. Aaron, I'm a fan of yours, so nice to hear from you, Fran. And Grant as well from Tassie. Thanks as always from your contribution. It's all unfolding on Grandstand AFL on ABC Radio and ABC Sport Digital.
Ever heard of Helpers High?
The satisfaction, literally, I cannot define in words.
By volunteering our time, we feed our own positive mood and boost our overall physical and mental health. To celebrate the ABC's 90th year of connecting communities, we're asking you to take the 90 for 90 pledge. Just 90 minutes of your time to help a cause that you care about.
One person can make a difference.
For more information, go to our website, ABC Gives.
This is Sir Doug Nicholls Round.
Grandstand AFL.
On ABC Radio and ABC Sport Digital.
Toss back into play. Cameron beat O'Brien's, tapped it straight to Parfitt. From 40, he snaps towards goal. Hawkins is waiting there and marks on the behind line. Tom Hawkins on the tightest of angles will have to come around in the left forward pocket. Opens the angle and converts. Plenty of players in the 50. Instead, he'll centre with a flat kick intended for Atkins. Nearly cut off in the end as the fly came from Bunce. Can Guthrie now, tackled as he kicked it. Trickles to Evans, shrugged a tackle. Handball over his head is brilliant to Stevens, who uses Myers. Geelong have 2.
The Sir Doug Nicholls Round.
On ABC Radio and ABC Sport Digital.
Great to have your company from Kardinia Park on this Saturday afternoon for round 11. The Cats hold a 10-point advantage at quarter time, 2-4-16 against the Adelaide Crows. 6 behinds. Matt Clinch and Aaron Bryans calling the action. Mark McClure and Adam Ramanaskas are your experts. Lauren Borden is down on the boundary. And meanwhile, at the Gabba, approaching quarter time there, it's the Giants 8-1-49 to the Brisbane Lions 5-1-31. So all of a sudden, the Lions have kicked 4 goals on the trot to cut the Giants' deficit heading towards quarter time there. The thoughts of Rama and Sellers. Adelaide have been up for the fight, but just lacking a bit of skill and polish in their execution in front of goal and inside 50.
Well, there's 2 big problems at the moment with Adelaide's game. The first one is their kicking efficiency. They're only going at 48%, so that's the polish that you're talking about, Clinchy. They've left 4 goals out there. They're 6 behinds at the moment, so McAdams missed 2, Fogarty's missed 1, and the other one was missed by... I can't recall, but it was another easy set shot. So they could quite easily be 4 goals too and be leading this game. The other big problem they've got is Tom Stewart. He's had 9 kicks, 2 handballs, 11 possessions, 4 contested, 4 intercept possessions and 5 marks. So he's just controlling the back half of that ground at the moment, doing basically as he pleases. What the Crows are trying to do is play a highly contested game at the moment. They're trying to keep the ball in close, make it a scrap, take the ball forward with territory. Geelong realised that about the 15-minute mark of that first quarter. They started to open the game up. They started to lay off their opponent a little bit, so allowed a ball to get into a bit of free space, open area. Then then Geelong knew they actually had the polish to go and win it and go and take the ball forward. So 2 goals for they kicked, but I thought they dominated the second half of that quarter, Sellers.
It was scrappy in a sense where they wanted to give him no space, and they did that for a while. They held him pretty well, and then they just could not score. And after a little while, after you kicked 6 points in a row, and 3 or 4 of them were pretty close to goal, and they should have got them quite comfortably, your confidence goes down a little bit. And then you see the difference in the teams. You see Hawken, who's close to goal. He's one who attracts the ball. And the Cameron's run, if you could watch the forward line of the Adelaide boys, Philthorpe and also Fogarty. The amount of running that Cameron does is extraordinary. He ran 200 metres, went up, back, sideways, back again, did it just for one league. And then I watched him again. He did it again and again and again. He works his opponent over and over and over. I don't see that from the Adelaide boys. You know what they do? They have one lead and then they stop. Yeah. It's not another go. So to me, there's some issues with the way that they use the forward line, the way that they haven't scored. But gee whiz, they've had their chances. Had 6 shots at goals each. One's at 16 points and one's at 6. There's a big difference in this in the way they operate, and the confidence of the Geelong side is paramount. They're unbelievable. They know what they're doing. They know where they're going. They know how to play this ground and the wind and the breeze and all those other different things. But don't let me say this. They can actually hang into this. They won the clearance area, Adelaide, that quarter. So they're in there, but every other statistic they're down on in most of it. So to me, they can pick themselves up and go, but they need to actually start. When you got to actually screw your gut up and actually, when you're shooting for goal, get it. Don't miss, because you're letting everyone else down, and that's what they've done.
Got to take the moment, says Mark McClure. The inside 50 Geelong's way, 16-7, and the intercept possessions the way of the Cats, 21-17.
So what's interesting also, I think, so Mitch Duncan was the other high possession winner for Geelong. He had 9. So you've had 20 between Stewart and Duncan across that half-back line.
Yeah.
The ball's coming out easy, I think, in the end, particularly in that second part of the first quarter.
Second quarter about to get underway. The Cats leading by 10 points. Just before it does so, let's head down to Lauren Borden on the boundary.
Yeah, so Sam Berry, obviously we saw him come off with the blood rule, wasn't able to take his kick, but he's been patched up easily and is back in the middle against Joel Selwood.
Thanks, Lauren. O'Brien and Blitzavs do battle to start the second quarter. Taken below the knee was Berry, and he is slow to rise. So having one of those days where he's in and amongst everything. He gets the free kick here and a chance to send Adelaide forward. Beautiful sidestep around Parfitt. Straight down the middle. Thilthorpe's at the back. He can't get to it. Sam De Koning takes the mark. Well, he's one of the players that allows Tom Stewart to play in which he does.
Absolutely.
Doesn't have a Rising Star nominee yet, Ram.
He should.
Might get addressed at some stage.
I reckon he should be one of the favourites.
Yes, Myers.
Me too.
Fights for it on the wing. Now lays a tackle on Hamill. The footy's stuck underneath those two. The umpire will board up on the broadcast wing.
Hey, Rami, you can see him growing.
Oh, you can. Every game he plays, just that confidence level, Sellers.
I agree.
Ball up on the logo, tapped down in front of Keys, pushed it back to Murphy. Handball out looking for Laird, kicked around the body. Just panic kick up towards space at half forward. McAdam flew too early. The Cats sitting at the back. Kolajasny racing onto it. Rowe slides in to cut him off. Handball back to Dawson. They'll retreat to the centre square. Adelaide now head out towards the right forward pocket. McHenry back with the flight. It's bounced off his scone. Duxton weaves through traffic. Handball inside looking for Haitley. Stood in space and got it to Rowe. Now Berry. It's just messy football at the moment and the Cats can capitalise. Myers gets it out towards Duncan. Handball over the top. Flew past Hamill. Murphy's there though. Gives it back to him. Adelaide with another chance. 45 out. Handball forward to Berry, who's immediately caught by Smith.
It's really good by both teams. The ball bobbled around Adelaide's just the top of their forward 50. Adelaide tried to continue the ball moving forward. Geelong applied great pressure.
From the throw up, O'Brien tries to knock it down. It ricochets back to him. Quick hand pass from Laird out to Rowe. Kicks towards Fogarty. Can't take the mark. Tom Stewart right there with him. Bounces into his own teammate, Zach Tui, and then kicks out to Stengel. That's the type of impact Tom Stewart's having for both opposition and teammates. Stengel kicks long around the Hickey wing towards Cameron. Let it get to the back. Volleys it inside 50, almost to Hawkins, but Tom Doedee got back. That was almost Harlem Globetrotters stuff, and Hawkins has encroached on the mark. And Tom Doedee will be taken from the back pocket into the middle of Cardinia Park.
He walked up 5 metres.
There's a reason Tom Doedee's first in the league for intercepts. He reads it so well back with the flight. Kicks on the 45, out to the outer wing. Uses Ben Keys right on the paint of the square. Chip it short. Rory Laird on the logo now. He'll head out. Spots a man unmarked in brown who can go. Paddock to run into. Heads long into the right forward pocket. Fogarty's outnumbered, so Stewart can come across and claim the intercept mark.
So Tom Stewart's direct opponent was Shane McAdam then. McAdam led to nowhere. Like, the ball was never going to go. And then Stewart just sat there. He just sat there and waited, and it was perfect.
A fifth intercept possession for Tom Stewart as he combines with Tui and then back to Stewart. All the way back to Sam de Koning. Has it in the right back pocket for the Cats. Up towards Isaac Smith. Not a great kick. Murphy in front. Thilthorpe behind, and Murphy takes the mark. Right on 50 for the Adelaide Crows. Can they get something here? Fogarty offers a lead. The kick is right in front of him down low. Can't hang on. Rose slides in. Tackled by Cam Guthrie, who sits on top of him. Turns to the umpire, says throw it up.
As much as he should have marked both those balls, Fogarty, it's pleasing that he's leading at the kicker sellers.
Absolutely.
Can't buy a mark at the moment. Darcy Fogarty off the ruck contest. Thilthorpe and Blitzavs battle in the air with a few volleyball taps. Finally comes down to Cam Guthrie. He's swung around to the ground.
And Rama, sometimes it's to do with delivery too.
Yeah, no, I agree. But when you're out of form, you stand there and you don't move. But at least Fogarty's moving.
From the ruck contest, Blitzavs down to Rowe. Panics around on the left. Centres his kick to the top of the square. McAdam beaten again. Handball comes clear by Stewart in front of Stengel, who can run out of the 50. Sells keys the wrong way as well and heads up the corridor for the Cats. Bounces in front of Butts, who's under pressure from Hawkins. He did well. Handball back to Smith, then Berry. Adelaide get another opportunity. Flat kick was cut off. Hand stuck out by Myers. Now Stengel uses Selwood, and Smith can go on the broadcast wing. Had a fumble, but plenty of time to mop it up. Kicks down the line, and Close is all alone. Wheels around, heads into the right forward pocket and hits the chest of Cameron. What a rebound from the Cats. Jeremy Cameron plays on, opens the angle on the left. It's curling through for a major.
Oh, good.
The Crows were lost, and Cameron capitalised. They get the first of the second quarter. 3-4-22, plays 6 behinds, 5 minutes in at Cardinia Park on Grandstand AFL.
Had 4 or 5 goes to get that into their forward line and score in that area. They made a mistake once, and then they just carried the ball down. Tommy Stewart was part of that, and de Koning was part of that, and then they start to move it down the ground, and it gets on the end of Cameron. Cameron is such an athlete. You got no idea how good he is and how fast he can run. All of a sudden he just turned around, which kicked an easy goal. That was just a brilliant piece of play by the Cats. Well controlled, well judged, and a good goal to finish it off.
You know what I watched there, though, sellers? I watched the Adelaide midfielders. Once that ball got free and Geelong were out, Adelaide midfielders were just jogging.
Jogging, I know.
Hately, Laird, they weren't getting back defensively to help out.
They're not setting any standards here.
You've got to sprint. You've got to get back and help.
Adam Ramanauskas and Mark McClure with you, not to mention the kick from Close right in that right forward pocket for Jezza Cameron. Back in the middle, Selwood emerges with the clearance to Geelong. Handbuster Close on 50, back to Joel Selwood, lace out to Hawkins. That was as direct as it comes for Geelong.
That's a pretty piece of football, isn't it?
Yeah, but again, a centre bounce, Geelong win it.
Yep.
All the Adelaide mids are behind their direct opponents again.
All of a sudden, if you're an
Who's
Adelaide...
the director in the middle? Who's the one who's telling them what to do? Come on, what are we doing here? Where are we standing up? Why is this happening to us? Get one.
All of a sudden, if you're an Adelaide fan, you're starting to get concerned directly in front. Tom Hawkins, 35 metres out. Cameron has one. Hawkins now has 2. Not his best ball drop, but able to steer it straight through the middle. And the Cats all of a sudden are out by 22 points. 4-4-28. So the Crows 6 behind, 6 minutes gone, second term on ABC Sport. Quarter time at the Gabba. It's the Giants leading by 12 points against the Brisbane Lions. 8-1-49 to the Lions, 6-1-37 there, with 3 goals to Toby Green and to Link McCarthy.
And credit to Geelong, because they've realised what Adelaide are trying to do in this game. Adelaide are trying to slow it down and make it a scrap on every occasion. But Geelong now know, okay, let's just get it out in the open in any way possible. Once they've been able to do that, they've been able to score pretty easily, really.
Oh, they've got the skill.
Yeah.
The voices of Mark McClure, Adam Ramanauskas, Aaron Bryans, Matt Clinch with you on Grandstand AFL. Cats by 22 points. Crows had the first 4 scoring opportunities, all behinds. All Geelong since then. O'Brien taps it down straight to the feet of Cooper Stevens. There's a whistle on the play. Going Geelong's way. Joel Selwood, the skipper. No one on the mark. He can kick on the 45. Hits up Blitzavs. Attacking edge of the square. Didn't know what to do. Thought about the handball in, then out. Hughes is wheeling around, giving him an option. Finally just kicks it in. Sitting at the back, though. Luke Brown read it best as Hawkins was crunched by 3. Intercept mark for the Crows. Dinky kick out wide, hits Brodie Smith and clears defensive 50, looking for Saligo. Atkins did well to force a contest, brought it to ground, and it carries over the boundary line. We toss back into play just behind the paint of 50 for the Cats, and the crowd starting to find its voice at Kardinia Park as well. They've kicked 2 unanswered majors to start the second quarter.
And all decks are full in the crowd too, everywhere.
Yeah, probably
jam-packed.
A pocket of about 30 Crows fans who have made the trek as well underneath the
many.
scoreboard. Oh, come on. Smith trying to emerge with it for the Crows. Hand pass to Matt Crouch, brought down. Tom Atkins, determined tackle, wins it back. And Parfitt puts his hand in the air. The Cats won't take the advantage. And one of their hard nuts, Tom Atkins, has it. He's 55 metres out from goal, which you think is beyond him. Pretty much directly in front, though.
How many you reckon there is?
Adelaide fans? Well, I reckon there's 20 or 30. Maybe that's overs. Long kick looking forward. Stengel couldn't take the mark. Saligo bumped as he got his kick away. Straight to the boundary line. In front of Cooper Stevens. The umpire says throw it in.
Now they're in defensive mode, Adelaide. They just can't get themselves out of this. There's no positivity in the way they move the ball. It's just, I give it to you because I don't want it anymore type thing.
Toss back in, and neither rucks were there for the boundary throw-in. Coming through, Parfitt picks it up for the Cats. Hands it back to Duncan, then back to Parfitt. Wheels around 360, beats Matt Crouch. Kicks on the right into the 50. Smith went to ground at the back. Stengel tackled as he kicked it. It's heading towards home. Tyson Stengel with something out of nothing. 3 straight for the Cats to start the second quarter. And Tyson Stengel stands up in his round against his former club. 5-4-34, plays 6 behinds, 9.5 played on Grandstand AFL.
Well, that's 3 goals for the quarter. They've actually separated themselves from Adelaide. They're making mincemeat of them almost, in a sense. They put the ball into the forward line. They win the contest whenever they need to. They push it forward. They hit the right spots. And Stengel's goal was a beauty. And Adelaide had Stengel, but now they don't.
So again, Adelaide's kicking efficiency is really poor.
It is.
This quarter, 50%. They've had 14 kicks, so 7 of those are ineffective or gone directly back to Geelong. So that's becoming a real issue, Adelaide's foot skills in this game.
And Geelong is 75%, which is right up there.
3 goals to none, Geelong's way in the opening 10 minutes of this second quarter. O'Brien wins down the tap for the Crows, but Cam Guthrie, hand pass to Atkins for Geelong, inside 50, wide of Evans. A chance still for Hawkins, who runs onto it in the right forward pocket. Hand pass to Close, way too easy. Off the outside of the boot, he's pumped as he got his kick away. It's enough to send it across the face of goal. A good lunging effort.
Just kick a drop punt.
Yes.
He was under the pump.
I don't know, Sellers, if we make the game too simple sometimes, but...
No, it's been a long time since we've played.
Yeah, correct.
Oh, don't start that back in my day stuff.
I didn't say that. It's been a long time since we've played.
Adelaide clear defensive 50. A chain of handballs finds its way to Murphy. Then Haitley across centre wing, broadcast side. Kick from Matt Crouch, who was pushed as it went towards left half forward. Bounced off Hawkins, who had 2 against him. Now Dawson's taken in the tackle. Mark O'Connor's got him in a bit of a headlock at the fall of the ball, but umpire says ball up. 29-point lead to the Cats. Tossed up. O'Brien beaten by Neal this time. Slaps it down for the Cats to Parfitt. Over around the footy, so just threw a boot out. Trickled its way to Laird. Handball back to Crouch. Now Murphy. On the left for the Crows. Skies it into the 50. Fogarty flew. Brought it down. Miller stuck a hand out. Nearly reeled it in. Saligo did, though. Gets it off to Fogarty. He snaps on the right. And after 5 games, Darcy Fogarty has a major. Adelaide's first of the afternoon comes at the 11.5-minute mark of the second quarter. Darcy Fogarty open at the back. Handball receive. And a goal from 30. 5-4-34 plays 1-6-12 on Grandstand AFL.
I actually think Fogarty deserves that goal. This quarter, he's dropped 2 inside forward 50, but he's presented, he's made a contest again. He was in that marking contest when the ball was inside forward 50. He recovers quickly when the ball hits the ground and is then able to get back involved quicker. So, could have given the handball over the top, but take the responsibility, kick the goal, should give him a good level of confidence.
Lauren Borden on the boundary.
Another day, another match where Joel Selwood's just bleeding from the right eye. He's getting that patched up now. Zach Tui also had his right knee assessed just after copping a little bit of friendly fire in the back 50, but he's good to go.
Thanks, Lauren. A couple of 30-olds involved there, or 30-plus. Laird gets the clearance. Hand pass to Matt Crouch for Adelaide. Gets the clearance, kicks towards half forward. McHenry was worked off it, and then Haitley locks the footy in. Where Jed Buse and Tom Stewart wedged in the middle of all that.
They could put a couple more on Adelaide. Seriously, they're not out of this.
O'Brien takes it out of the ruck. Hand pass to Matt Crouch to Dawson at left half forward. Chips it over the top. McHenry has it. 55 metres out from goal. Dawson around the back. 50 out the left footer. Pokes it to the pocket. It found the intended target, McAdam, right up against the boundary.
You give the ball to good kicks. Usually a good result happens.
Now, for as tough as their inaccuracy has been, this is one that you give pretty much no chance, but it's every chance. Shane McAdam steps out, snaps across his body, snaps truly, and Adelaide have 2 on the trot. And that was the hardest of them. Shane McAdam with a classy finish. Having turned 27 today. He's up to 12 goals for the season, and all of a sudden Adelaide have found an answer. They cut the margin back to 17 points. Geelong 5-5-35 to Adelaide 2-6-18. 13 minutes gone, second term on ABC Sport.
You know, Sellers, what I'd be interested in, we see the snap as a set shot so often in today's game. And we see how good they are. I'd love to know the percentage difference in a snapshot for goal and just what we call a normal set shot drop punt for goal. And what are the actual percentages in terms of accuracy?
Looks like to me that the one around the corner is the one that works.
Well, McAdam put that straight through.
Yeah.
That went straight through the middle. He's on the boundary. He's dead on the boundary, and he puts it straight through the middle.
I understand that. I saw it myself.
In the middle, O'Brien slapped it down to Laird, tried to give it to Keys, was wrapped up by Selwood before the footy reached him.
And now they're getting some more ball out of the middle. That's 2 entries, 2 exits now.
Free kick to Adelaide. Keys not sure what to do. He looks wide to the broadcast wing and spots Dawson all alone. He can play on and go. Through the logo, heads towards the boundary line, spots McHenry. Another uncontested mark for Adelaide. Slowly surging forward on the 45. The kick was at 15 to Dawson, and Selwood can tackle and go. Stripped him of the footy, hands it inside to Myers. Geelong just keeps surging. He tried to hand it back to Selwood. It was too short. McHenry bowls him over, and the Cat skipper gets a free one and 50. Adelaide have made an absolute mess of that. And Geelong will get a shot on goal through their skipper, Joel Selwood. He'll be marched into the 50. Man on the mark will stand about 15 metres out.
That's a decent 50.
Sliding to the right, but it's going to be a goal for the Cats.
So how did you get the 50?
I'll have to look back at the replay there, Sellers.
I don't know how that actually happened.
It was very quick.
I know.
McHenry bowled him over. Maybe it was descent, I reckon. Selwood comes in, converts from 20. After back-to-back goals for the visitors, Geelong regain momentum. 6-5-41, Adelaide 2-6-18. 15 and a half played at Cardinia Park in the second quarter on Grandstand AFL.
Well, Selwood's a really combative player, and he just takes you on any chance he can get. And all of a sudden he pushed in the way, and I don't actually understand how the 50 started, but the free kick was there. He got hit high, and then there may have been some reaction. I don't know, and we'll have a look on side there. I didn't see anything, but he finishes it off, and all of a sudden he's pushed his side into 4 goals for the quarter to 2, and actually Adelaide have scored a couple, which is good for them, but the Cats have scored 2 more than they have this quarter already, and there's still plenty of time left.
It's a blow to the Crows. They'd been playing a good 4 or 5 minute patch of footy, but the 50-minute penalty meant Joel Selwood was able to capitalise. Riley Thilthorpe into the ruck here against Blitzhouse. Blitzhouse wins down the tap. Chance for Thilthorpe, knocked it to Laird, to Keys. Hurries a kick towards half forward. Berry gathers, tries to fend off Cam Guthrie. Hand pass to Laird. Dispossessed as he got his hand pass away. And Mitch Duncan for the Cats. Kicks out to the Hickey wing. One direction, Myers. He takes a good mark. Saligo was coming the other direction. Good composure from the young Cat. Kicks towards half forward. Not a great kick, as you heard.
Terrible.
And Murray takes the mark at centre half back for the Crows.
Brutal week last week without Jordan Butts. Had Max King kick 6 on him, Nick Murray. Thankfully he's got some help this week. Heads wide to Dawson. Marks uncontested, then forward to Hinge. Kicks long towards the 50 for Adelaide. Fogarty's outnumbered. Just threw a fist at it. Trickles to the back. Miller is there. He gathers at his toes. Throws it on the boot. A kick across the body that sets up at the top of the square. Saligo can gather. Spin away from Stevens. Kicks on the left. It'll sit up on the line. And spoiled through for a minor score. Well done again to Tom Stewart, who's having a field day. 5 in this term alone for the Cats. Leading possession getter on the ground.
At the gap of the margin, the Giants' way has been cut back to 6, 8-1-49 to Brisbane 7-1-43. The Giants kicked 6 of the first 7 goals. As the Cats bring it back into play, Blitzhouse takes a great contested mark at half-back. Hand pass to the runner, Kolajasny up towards Cameron, 2-on-2. Murray and Butts are there. They combine well with Murray taking the mark.
No, Butts did a really good job. Just pushed out Cameron just out of the way.
Do you think with the improvement of De Koning, could Blitzhouse play the rest of the season in the ruck? Remember?
No doubt.
I think ideally they'd want them both in their defence.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Yeah, but this bloke can play on a wing. He can play forward. He can play at full back. He's a swing man, and he's very good at all of the positions.
Murray's long kick towards Fogarty, spoiled away from him and out of play.
I wouldn't want Blitzarves coming up against Max Gawn in a final.
Yeah, that's true.
Yep.
Speaking of Blitzhouse, there we go, turn myself on. Tapped it down straight to the Crows though. Laird gives it off to Matt Crouch, pushed as he kicked it inside 50 and De Koning's in the hole. Outstanding rookie year for Sam De Koning. Hands it off to Duncan, then uses Buse across half back. Now Myers heads wide to Tui, broadcast wing. Heads down the line looking for Cameron, had to dart inside, trying to get away from Murray. Ball clears the pack and rolls over.
And I say that because I reckon Blitzarves rucked against Brodie Grundy in a final in 2018,
Yeah, I think you're right.
and Grundy, he got him badly that night. So I wouldn't want to be having. Blitzarves a terrific player, but he's not a natural ruckman.
Toss back in, O'Brien won it down. Murphy's collected high by Tui. He was only at eyes for the footy and just collected him as he tried to charge through. Free kick to the Crows, left half back, broadcast side. Trailing by 22 points at the moment as we approach time on in the second. Murphy plays on, the kick's wide, it's carrying across the boundary line, just stays in. Phil Thorpe will claim the mark against De Koning. Plays on with a dinky kick that's far too short for his intended target, McHenry. And coming across, Blitzhouse can cut it off on the paint of defensive 50.
Cats leading by 22 points with a 4-2 second quarter. After Adelaide trailed by 10 points, having not kicked a goal in the first quarter. Blitzhouse short to Kolajasny, who has it on the defensive 50. He can hug the boundary line with a kick to Cam Guthrie. He's slowly starting to accumulate some of the footy. Up to 9 disposals for the match as he returns the footy to Duncan on the defensive 50. Now to Zach Guthrie. They're really just stretching Adelaide now. Long kick towards Tupper Stevens. Spoiled away from him by Saligo. Blitzhouse takes it off hands. Dragged down by Saligo. Got the hand pass forward. Bounce clears Duday. Neal tries to knock it on for Geelong. Doesn't quite link up with Isaac Smith. Still a chance for the Crows. Although good tackle laid by Stevens. Locks the footy up under the Hickey wing. Nick Murray is a little bit slow to rise as the umpire will throw it up on the wing.
Ball in the hands of umpire Alex Wetton. Out on the outer side, toss it up. O'Brien and Blitzhouse do battle, neither get a clean tap. Selwood had the ball, wanted a free kick, instead he's given one away. Holding the ball, did Adelaide play on? Yes. Somehow they've got a clearance under pressure, sold themselves into a bit of trouble, but Laird's kick is too wide. Out on the full, free kick to the Cats. They should have just taken the free kick, sellers. Now it's a Geelong footy. Long kick down the line, intended for Blitzhouse. O'Brien back with the flight, nearly cut it off, brought it to ground. Neal flicks a handball out of nowhere, in front of Stengel. Fumbled 2 or 3 times, it picks it up close to the boundary line. Shrugs a tackle, curls it around towards the left forward pocket. Cameron caught behind, has to become the tackler on Hinge. He's circled by the umpire, the ball's not coming out, and a free kick will be paid to the Cats. Jeremy Cameron becomes the tackler inside 50 and now has a chance to go back and kick his second. Tight angle, left forward pocket, 25 out. Was there prior, sellers?
Yeah, well, that's. I'm waiting for the replay.
Yeah.
On first glance, it looks harsh. It looks really harsh.
Let me tell you, it doesn't matter what the replay says.
It's a free kick.
It's over.
Yeah.
Jeremy Cameron started the round 5th in the Coleman, leans back on the kick. He snuck it through for his second. The Cats have 5-2 in the second term. They push it out to a game, or nearly a game high, 28-point lead. 7-5-47 plays the Crows 2-7-19. 22 played on Grandstand AFL. Aaron Bryans, Matt Clinch, Adam Ramanauskas, Mark McClure with you.
It's a difficult one, Sells, because you knocked the ball out and then Geelong run onto it and kick a goal.
tell you who's given him a big ag pack. Blitzav's through the middle of the ground. He has changed this game completely. He's controlling the middle of the ground. He's running with the midfielders. He's winning the ruck work. He's giving his side a real chance to score, and they are very much scoring.
Mark McClure and Adam Ramanauskas with you on ABC Sport at the Gabba. It's GWS 9-1-55, leading the Brisbane Lions 7-1-43. Second quarter action there. 22 minutes gone here. Geelong out by 28 points. Bounce back in the middle. O'Brien up against Blitzavs. Won it down. O'Brien to Laird. He can't bust clear. Selwood locks the footy to his chest.
And O'Brien cannot stay with him.
No, he cannot. O'Brien again wins down the tap to Laird. Handpass to Perry, tried to duck out of the path for tackle. Rather fortunate to get the free kick. They take the advantage through Brodie Smith. Kick straight to half forward, but Tom Stewart flying in from the left takes the intercepting mark.
Doesn't he read the ball well?
Sure does. Looks out to the Hickey wing. Blitzavs has space. Stewart was cannon into. And Blitzavs took the mark anyway. He has it on the Hickey wing.
Heads back inside the Duncan. Looks comfortable across halfback at the moment for the Cats. Called to play on. He'll race across centre wing on the outer side. Kicks down the line looking for Cameron. Brought it to ground as he was caught behind. Kick around the body smothered by Murray. Carries over the boundary line to be tossed back into play. 7-5-47 the Cats. 2-7-19 the Crows.
It's ridiculous how Geelong have been able to replace Corey Enright with Tom Stewart. It's just not fair.
He's had 19 for the game.
It's not fair.
He's very good.
O'Brien wins it down. Cam Guthrie sticks a hand out but can't reel it in. Parfitt is swarmed. Cam Guthrie helps him out. Somehow they shovel the ball towards Tui. Tumbler up towards Myers. Now the Cats can go. Hands it off to Selwood at left half forward. Over the top to Cameron. Sold him into a bit of danger but got the pill inside 50.
Good pace.
Hamill's there to cut it off. Shrugged a tackle and burst away. Gave it to Crouch though dangerously. He was tackled. Close handballs forward. Cut off by Cameron. Brodie Smith in there as well. And Hinge is brought down once again inside 50. Just feels like messy football whenever Adelaide have it.
Yeah.
The Cats, meanwhile, just hitting their targets with the handball.
That's just lack of confidence, though, really, and a lack of actually awareness and numbers around the ball as well.
Geelong by 28 points. Cam Guthrie tries to knock it clear. Close picks it up. He's tackled it as soon as he takes possession. And the umpire will throw it up.
The reason why it feels messy is Adelaide is still kicking at only 53%. So it's either a turnover, then they've had 81 kicks to 78 handballs, so their ratios are all wrong there as well.
Hawkins one down the tap, but straight to O'Brien, who tinks the kick straight towards the boundary line. How will the umpire deem this? Throw it in. 70 metres out from the Cats' goal. Could they try and get the ball into some of the better ball users? I mean,
well, the problem is, like Rory Laird's going at 43%.
There's no clean ball.
Matt Crouch is going at 0% kicking efficiency.
Hard to sell a zero. Chance still for the Crows as Berry emerges from the stoppage. Hand pass up to McHenry. Tries to knock it onto Soligo. He becomes the tackler on Zach Guthrie, taken out of play on the wing.
And you flip that around, Tom Stewart's had 16 kicks going at 88%. So it's just a whole different flow with both teams' games. Geelong, when they get moved, the ball flows for them.
They don't have a Tom Stewart at Adelaide. They need one of those.
Toss back in front of the Hickey stand. O'Brien took it out of the ruck and was tackled. There's a high free kick going the Cats' way as the ball trickled out to Parfitt.
But isn't that Brodie Smith across half-back for them?
Well, I haven't sighted him, have you?
Parfitt gives it off to the running Zach Guthrie. Loads up for the Cats inside 50. Too high in the end for Neil. At the back, gathered by Brodie Smith. He spun in the tackle. Fell out to Myers. Threw it on the boot from 25. Brian Myers has two. The Cats just keep surging at Cardinia. This game is getting out of Adelaide's hands. 8-5-53. The Crows 2-7-19. 26 and a half played in the second term on Grandstand AFL.
Give that goal to Tommy Hawkins. Sellers, you look, he competes in that contest. Doesn't mark it, but then he's on his tackles. The ball he tackles, I think it's Jordan Butts who he tackles his direct opponent. The ball spills out, allows Myers a chance to kick that goal. You love that work rate from your big key forward. It's not easy. So I think it was Jordan Dawson he tackled. Now it's not easy being a key forward where you're expected to do that tackling pressure as well, but Hawkins was terrific on that occasion.
You are expected to do that.
Well, you are now.
Yeah, you are, and you must do that or you shouldn't be there.
Mark McClure and Adam Ramanauskas with you on ABC Sport. Graham Myers, the sub last week, got into the action for Paddy Dangerfield, has 2 goals before half-time. Matt Crouch gets the clearance for Adelaide, kicks straight to centre half forward. Guess who? Tom Stewart marks amongst 2 Crows. Possession number 20 coming up before half-time. He's had 8 intercept possessions.
Do you think he'll be in the votes?
Well, I don't like to predict your votes, but
don't talk
he's
about
certainly got to be
Sal's
thereabouts,
votes.
doesn't he? Just put it out there.
Not certain.
Into the ether. Stewart out to O'Connor, who at left half back turns it over. Mark taken by Rory Laird, who comes into the middle of the ground, and Hinge has it. Looks to switch out to the broadcast side, racing back
Have a look at
Murphy.
that.
And Smith knocked
I
the
love
footy
that.
away from him, but he had enough of it. And Isaac Smith didn't really have his eyes on the footy.
No, but I love the way he chased and ran hard and tried to make a contest there. It's a big difference, and you've really got to. And he has hurt the opposition there.
I think his elbow got him in the snores, even though he
I think he's a little bit groggy here, Murphy.
Yeah, well,
has had issues with concussion. So, of course, missed a large portion. Wasn't able to take his kick after the siren, which Jordan Dawson did the rest. Sends Adelaide up towards half forward. Blitz out in front position from O'Brien. Punches it straight to the boundary line as Isaac Smith tries to gather it over the boundary line. Cats leading by 34 points, a game-high lead. Meanwhile, at the Gabba, it's GWS 9-1-55, leading the Brisbane Lions 7-3-45, approaching half-time there, as it is here at Cardinia Park.
Toss back in, left half forward for the Crows. Blitzavs took it out of the ruck and was tackled by O'Brien. Lost it. Free kick to Adelaide. I thought the rule was if you took it out of the ruck, it's not holding the ball. Anyway, O'Brien heads back to Dawson. Quick kick into the left forward pocket. Standing in the hole, DeConing cuts it off, brought it to ground. He's brilliant in a one-on-one. Hands it off to Smith, and Selwood's taken high by Keys. Free kick and defensive 50.
Look at that kid.
Doesn't waste any time, Selwood. On the 45, puts it in front of Duncan. Gathers on the bounce in the corridor. Hands it over top to Cameron. He's in space on the outer side. Blocked off by Murray, so kick down the line. Looking for O'Neill. Spoiled down by Duday from behind, but O'Neill goes again. Can't gather. That's Shannon Neal, rather. Got a handball out. The Crows have numbers sitting back. Hinge uses Duday. Around the body, kicks up to Matt Crouch at right half back. Let's see if he can hit a target this time. 0% kicking efficiency from 6 kicks. This was why he was sent back to the Sandful.
You put him on notice. Crouch long down the line, didn't hit a target. Tom Stewart punches it down. Keys underneath it, gathers, loops the hand pass forward to Berry. That'll work. He looks to drive a kick inside 50, racing back Dawson. Blitzhouse in front, brings it down, used his frame superbly and sees it out of play. Not a great kick for Jordan Dawson.
That's the luxury of Blitzhouse.
Correct.
You know, he's in the ruck 5 minutes ago. Now he's competing on the last line of defence.
He is unbelievable.
It feels like at times the Cats are just toying with them with their ball movement compared to the Crows at the moment. O'Brien tries to take it out of the ruck, hacks towards the teeth of goal to Koning. Excellent mark. Just pulled it in with the right hand. He was able to hang on to control of it as his body lunged back.
And you've got to set yourself in the right spot for that sort of stuff too. That's one of the big keys.
Echoes of the great Wayne Carey. He used to take those sort of one-handed marks. Kicks long towards half-back. Zach Guthrie's there and half of it goes out of play.
You might have gone off a bit early there.
So on Sam DeConing, this is his 11th game, but heading into the round, he'd only lost 14% of his one-on-one contests.
He's having a terrific
year.
year.
Fantastic.
I said the mark, not the player. There was shades of the marking style.
Toss back in. Blitzavs took it out of the ruck with one arm. Again, O'Brien swings him in the tackle, and again, it's holding the ball. Free kick to the Crows' ruck. O'Brien, lively after being sent back to the Sandful. Made a statement. Back into the 22. Centres his kick with a spiral punt. Headed for Fogarty, who claims it in the air.
Mark.
That's much better.
Stuck up both mitts and claimed it in front position. 20 out, straight in front.
Gave himself a run. Pushed his opponent first before he got him. DeConing just give him a little nudge and then bang, straight up and took the mark. Now that's good. That's the best part of his game so far.
22 years of age, former pick 12. Hasn't been his best year. But in the absence of Taylor Walker, this could be the confidence builder he needs. Starts from 45. Long run up with the man at 20 out. Kicks from 30. Gee, he made it hard, but he got it home. Darcy Fogarty has 2. And the Crows bring it back down to a 28-point game. 8-5-53 plays 3-7-25. 32 minutes played in the second term at Cardinia Park on Grandstand AFL.
A little spear kick in. Didn't have to kick it high. You kick it to a space again. Fogarty runs into it. Just nudges his opponent out. A little space there. That was a brilliant kick. And Fogarty finished it off and got the goal. But that's been rare in their game. very rare, and they've just been actually watching the opposition kick goal after goal and beating them in lots of spots. They need to continue to actually try those things. Test yourself, push yourself a bit harder. Okay, you think you can't win? Have a go. Try your best.
Mark McClure with you on ABC Sports. Adelaide with 3 goals to Geelong 6. The Crows held goalless in the opening term. Rory led with 14 disposals, 6 clearances, and a couple of centre bounce clearances in this second quarter. And here he is on cue. Hand pass to Crouch, who rushes a kick towards half forward. In front position, O'Connor couldn't take the mark. Still a chance for the Crows as McKee's got the hand pass from McAdam. Kicks to the lead. It's spoiled away in the end as Berry came out on the lead, and Sam de Koning got a fist in there. Let's see it out of play for a boundary throw-in.
How good was that? It's incredible.
Which de Koning would you like in your team, Sellers?
Oh, there's a good question.
I'd like both of them.
24 seconds on the clock. The Crows need to score. Heavy deficit at the moment. Tapped down by Blitz Sav. Straight to Rory Laird, who's wrapped up by a couple of cats and holding the ball.
That's unfair. Did he have prior?
Gathered it immediately off the bounce, I reckon, Sellers. Tom Hawkins has got him, and that
he got a handball. He got a handball.
Hawkins chips it short out wide, uses Tom Stewart. And there's the halftime siren at Cardinia Park. Geelong racing away with the lead after leading by 10 at quarter time. They're up by 28 at the major break. 8-5-53, plays 3-7-25 on Grandstand AFL.
The goal scorers for the Cats: 2 goals to Tom Hawkins, 2 to Jeremy Cameron, individuals to Selwood, Stengel, Graham Myers also with a couple as well for Geelong. Meanwhile for Adelaide, 2 goals for Darcy Fogarty, and Shane McAdam is the other goal scorer for the Crows. So a 6-3 second quarter the way of the Cats sees them 28 points the good at the main break. The thoughts of Adam Remanascus and Mark McClure with you on ABC Sport.
Well, it's been an interesting half of football, I think, from Geelong. When they've had their moments of actual domination, they've completely owned the game. They've been able to put scores on the board. So 6 goals that quarter with 2 lots of 3. So when they've had their moments, they've been terrific in this game. Again, at times that quarter when they've slowed the game down or Adelaide have made them slow the game down, the game comes back into a bit of a scrappy affair. But Geelong had their way and how they wanted to play that half. 13 scoring shots to 10. Going into a forward line, they look a lot more clean, a lot more structure going forward of the ball. Kicking efficiency is a big one. Geelong are going at almost 60%. Adelaide are only at 55, and I say that it's more because of it's Adelaide's prime movers. So Rory Laird at 50%, Matt Crouch at 13%, Shane McAdam 25%, Sam Berry 50%. So guys, that have the ball in their hand often are well under 50%, and that's what's hurting the Crows at the moment. We've said on a number of occasions through that first half, they look scrappy, the Crows.
So have we seen teams like, Carlton and Melbourne have all addressed that, where they had guys who are not great disposal, kicking efficiency players, but I guess they're a fair way off that in terms of their development, Adelaide, at the moment. But the guys you're mentioning are not young players.
Nah. Well, this is where clearly the Crows have come into this game wanting to play a really contested style of game and try to win the game that way. But when it's costing you goals through skill turnover, you've got to drop that part at some stage. Tom Stewart's dominating. He's had 20 possessions that quarter, 9 intercepts. Okay, so a lot of that have been quick kicks out of contest. Okay, so there's a part of me that goes now, okay, this contest style that we're playing at the moment against Geelong's not working. Now, the coaches will look at the stat sheet and go, well, contested possession, we're plus 10. We're minus 3 in tackles, but we're plus 16 in clearance.
When's the last time a team was plus 16 in clearance, plus 15 in stoppage clearance, and down by 28 points?
Yeah, but that goes back to your kicking efficiency.
That's it.
That's what I'm getting at.
Exactly, yeah.
So it's this scrappy defensive style of contest where kicks are coming out of packs. Geelong set themselves so well up behind the ball, it's easy pickings. It's really, really easy pickings.
Are you a little surprised Matthew Nicks hasn't sent someone to Tom Stewart before half-time?
100%. I said it halfway through the first quarter, that if he's going to continue to run around by himself, he'll just dominate this game. He's too smart of a footballer. The way he just continues to set up, controls space. He controls who's coming back and forward. Like, he has the luxury of having blitzers in the ruck at the moment that can push back and help out and cover for him. The other luxury is he's got Tom Stewart. The other luxury he's got Mitch Duncan, who's had 17 possessions as well. So Adelaide have to watch him as well. So it's a confused. Like, if you look at that stat sheet, like you say, no, the Crows would walk in there and go, "Boys, we've won the contest. We've done a terrific job. Well done." But you look up at the scoreboard and you're 28 points down.
No sacrifice. That's the kill.
Yeah.
But it's all, remember we did that Adelaide game against Collingwood early in the season at the MCG, and it's almost like they took the game plan too literal, and they're trying to play as wide as they possibly could on the MCG and avoid contest completely. It almost feels like they've gone the exact other way today, and they're trying to just beat Geelong at a contested style of footy, which may be the way to...
But which is wrong.
Yeah.
Because what has been proven against Geelong, if you're able to spread and outnumber at contest, as Fremantle did here, that's how you win the game.
Speed.
That's right, Sellers. That's exactly right.
And their last win against the Bulldogs was exactly that, contest and then outside run.
Yeah.
See, here they have a player called Isaac Smith. Now he's looking after Rory Laird. He's the one who's controlling him, putting him in the space. Now, this bloke's played in 4 premierships, and he's going to do the dirty role of playing on Laird. Why can't the opposition do the same? This is the part that gets me. Why haven't they done that? The domination of the Cats in that second quarter was extraordinary. I mean, they kicked 3 goals, Adelaide, but the other blokes kicked 6, I think, didn't they? 6 goals.
After 2 goals in the first and none.
2 goals in the first and 6 in the second. So it's a massive domination of the game.
So Wayne Miller has 2 touches at half-time. He's actually been trialled in the SANFL the past few weeks at half-forward. So why not stick him on Tom Stewart?
That's exactly
He's got
what
the
you
knowledge
do.
of a backman. He can
now
rotate.
You're thinking like a coach.
It's just rubbing off on me, Sellers.
No, but I think it's a smart idea. If he's not touching it, why can't you go and sit on this bloke? Don't even look at the ball. You just stand in front of him and stay with him the whole way. I think that's a great idea. Stop the 20. He's had 20 possessions or something.
But it's been his impact.
Yeah, I think his opponent...
But you've got to stop that. If you cut it back to 10 in the second half, that's a big difference.
Yeah. For most of the first half, James Rowe was his opponent, happy to get up the ground, get 7 disposals, but it just allows Tom Stewart to play that anchor across half-back, and every time Adelaide look for a quick kick forward, he's there for it.
But this is done by the people in the box. Why haven't they seen that what we're seeing here?
Yeah.
Why aren't they doing these changes? Why aren't they trying stuff?
They just can't implement
it. Because clearly the focus before the game was on contest.
We know that.
That's why.
Understand
That's why it's like, so now so now you've got 20 minutes at half-time. You go and change the flow of the game.
I'll give you that. They won the contested possession.
They did. That's what I'm saying.
But so what?
But that's what I'm saying. What we're saying now, Sellers, is you got 20 minutes as a coaching group to go. That's not working, guys. 28 points. So we've got double the amount of clearances. We've got plus
less tackles.
5 in less 5 in tackles, but plus 12 in contested possession.
Yeah.
So if you continue that, you're going to lose. Let's double it. You're going to lose by 50
It'll
points.
be 20 goals. Yeah. I'm telling you, their second half will be better than the first.
So they're losing. Where Adelaide are losing, they're losing. Geelong's defence is better than Adelaide's forward line, and Geelong's forward line is better than Adelaide's defence.
So how do they fix their connection inside 50? Because you praised Darcy Fogarty for his attack at the ball. The challenge is to try and get more out of Riley Philthorpe, who's pinch hitting in the ruck, and Shane McAdam obviously kicked a goal in that second quarter, but they'd love to see a little bit more of their small forwards as well.
Now, if I don't see someone come out and stay on Stewart, there's something wrong with Adelaide. There is something wrong with it. 20 possessions in a half and dominating that area, and blitzabs. Maybe they should change a little bit in the ruck for someone who can run with blitzabs as well. When after O'Brien goes in the ruck, runs with him. Try that, because they are the most influential players on the ground, both of them.
So I think with Tom Stewart in the past, what's been successful is every time that Tom Stewart switches on a different opponent, you drag him back to the goal square. That's what Brisbane have had real success with Charlie Cameron playing on him. At the moment, they're letting Tom Stewart play basically from the 50-metre line to the centre and do what absolutely he wants, okay? So I think from point one needs to be, let's drag Tom Stewart back as deep as we possibly can on every possible occasion. Mm-hmm. The next part to this then is Hawkins and Cameron, okay? So we mentioned that at the start of the game. So Hawkins has got 2, Cameron have got 2. But they've looked dominant inside their forward 50 with their positioning. So what they tried to do at the start of the game, Adelaide, they tried to drop Riley O'Brien back to play as an extra in their defence. But then you speak about blitzers. Blitzers started to make Riley O'Brien accountable, so that opens back up the space. What I would be doing is I'd be leaving blitzers. I'll be saying to Riley O'Brien, don't worry about him. You stand there. We've got to get our winger pushing to blitzers.
Yep.
Make it a 2-on-1 that way. Change it up. Allow O'Brien the tactic of what you wanted him to do to start the game to continue on with that.
Half-time at Cardinia Park, Adam Ramanauskas with you with his thoughts on ABC Sport. Geelong by 28 points, 8-5-53 to the Crows, 3-7-25. Meanwhile, the Lions have closed the gap at the Gabba. They are 9-4-58 to the Giants, 10-1-61. So a 3-point lead the way of the Giants there after they kicked 6 of the first 7 goals of the match. The Giants bursting out of the gates. Lockie Neal with 22 disposals to half-time. 3 goals for Toby Green and 3 goals to Lincoln McCarthy. Great to have your company on ABC Sport around the country. Let's get the latest from the ABC Newsroom.
Hello, this is ABC News with David Rowlands. Texas Governor Greg Abbott says he was misled about what happened in the Uvalde school massacre, causing him to initially share inaccurate information with the public. It's been revealed police had made an error, waiting to enter a classroom because they believed it was no longer an active shooter situation. 19 children and 2 teachers were killed in the attack. Mr. Abbott says he is livid about the response and it must be thoroughly investigated.
My expectation is that the law enforcement leaders that are leading the investigations, which includes the Texas Rangers and the FBI, they get to the bottom of every fact with absolute certainty.
Meantime, members of the US National Rifle Association have hit back at anti-gun protesters who gathered outside a convention in Houston, Texas. The 3-day convention is being held just 3 days after 19 children and 2 teachers were gunned down in the town of Uvalde, which is around 470 kilometres from Houston. Demonstrators have called on members and supporters of the NRA to go home, but this woman says the protesters are just using the mass shooting to make a political statement.
I think these poor parents have enough to deal with this horrific loss, and the fact that you're making it a big thing, oh boy, this is a way to get more gun control. I think it's horrible.
The US Secretary of State says he's confident that Sweden and Finland could gain NATO membership in the coming weeks. Antony Blinken says they could be members of the Security Alliance before its summit in Spain at the end of next month. Both asked to join following Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Mr. Blinken says he's confident that Turkey's objections to their membership could be resolved quickly.
The United States fully supports Finland and Sweden joining the alliance. Finland and Sweden more than meet NATO's democratic, military, economic criteria for membership. And I continue to be confident that both countries will soon be NATO allies.
A national survey has found disadvantaged children are still being impacted by disrupted learning due to COVID. The Smith family surveyed 1,000 families the charity is supporting. Chief Executive Doug Taylor says most still haven't caught up in their learning following periods of homeschooling.
We bring that now through to today. 54% of the parents and carers that we surveyed told us that COVID is still making it hard for their children and their experience of education. And that's principally because of them having to isolate at times, or family members having to isolate, and the stop-start nature of their education.
Western Australia has today reported 7 historical COVID-related deaths and 8,665 new cases. There are currently 305 people in hospital with the virus, including 7 in intensive care. Latin America has reported its first case of monkeypox as the World Health Organization warns that it expects the number of infections to continue to rise. Argentina's health ministry says the confirmed case is a man who recently travelled to Spain. About 200 monkeypox infections have now been detected in countries outside of Africa, where the disease is usually found. South Australian police will investigate if excessive force was used when a 41-year-old man died during an arrest in Adelaide last night. Evelyn Manfield reports.
Police were called to King William Road outside the Festival Theatre in Adelaide last night upon reports a 41-year-old man and a 17-year-old boy were fighting. Police say they arrested the pair for fighting in a public place, but during the arrest, the 41-year-old became unresponsive and, despite CPR, couldn't be revived. Detective Inspector Brett Featherby says police will examine if excessive force was used.
With all these investigations, that is one component that will be thoroughly investigated.
Police have not revealed the ethnicities of the two men, but say it's unrelated to recent gang activity in Adelaide.
The New South Wales opposition says it wants mobile telephone charging outlets at key train stations across Sydney. Opposition Transport spokeswoman Jo Halen says while other states have the facilities, New South Wales does not. She says it will help encourage the use of public transport.
Sydney's a global city and we should be encouraging people back onto public transport, and this will make life that little bit easier when your phone is running low on battery.
And police are appealing for any information following a serious assault in Sydney CBD. A 25-year-old man remains in a critical condition with a fractured skull and bleeding on the brain. The man was in a fight with 6 men that police say he didn't know. ABC News.
Can art and creativity heal invisible wounds?
It takes a lot to come out and talk about mental health.
Now, a unique social experiment hosted by Natalie Bassingthwaite harnesses the healing quality of art.
All will be revealed.
To find out if art can build a brighter future for our mental health.
I think you found your thing. Wow. You've nailed it.
Space 22, Tuesday nights on ABC TV or log in to stream on ABC iView.
This is Sir Doug Nichols Round
Grandstand AFL
on ABC Radio and ABC Sport Digital.
Duncan then back to Parfitt. Wheels around 360, beats Matt Crouch. Kicks on the right into the 50. Smith went to ground at the back. Stengel tackled as he kicked it. It's heading towards home. Tyson Stengel with something out of nothing. Murphy on the left for the Crows. Skies it into the 50. Fogarty flew, brought it down. Millera stuck a hand out, nearly reeled it in. Saligo did though, gets it off to Fogarty, he snaps on the right, and after 5 games, Darcy Fogarty has a major.
McHenry has it, 55 metres out from goal. Dawson around the back, 50 out the left footer, pokes it to the pocket. It found the intended target, McAdam, right up against the boundary. Shane McAdam steps out, snaps across his body, snaps truly, and Adelaide have 2 on the trot. And that was the hardest of them.
Parfitt gives it off to the running Zach Guthrie. Loads up for the Cats inside 50. Too high in the end for Neil. At the back, gathered by Brodie Smith. He spun in the tackle. Fell out to Myers. Threw it on the boot from 25. Brian Myers has 2.
The Sir Doug Nichols Round
on ABC Radio and ABC Sport Digital.
Great to have your company on this Saturday afternoon. Geelong open up a 28-point advantage at halftime over the Adelaide Crows, 8-5-53 to Adelaide 3-7-25. Meanwhile, at the Gabba, it's the Giants leading by 3 points there after a much more promising second quarter by the Brisbane Lions. So the Giants 10-1-61 to the Lions 9-4-58. Matt Clinch alongside Aaron Bryans calling the action. Mark McClure and Adam Ramanaskas are your experts with Lauren Borden down on the boundary. Round 11 of the AFL continues after this match. We all head to the MCG where it's Melbourne... Nam, should I say, taking on Freo. That's my first blemish of the fortnight. And then, of course, Saturday night footy with the West Coast Eagles and the Western Bulldogs and the Gold Coast Suns taking on Hawthorn. Don't forget, if you've missed any of the audio from earlier today, you can head to the best of ABC Sport is your best place to find it and listen to it whenever you're taking your commute. So the lead, SA Grandstand, a lot of our feature audio is available there. So make sure you have a look at that for the best of ABC Sport. Adelaide in their final match before the bye. The Cats have the Western Bulldogs next week before their bye, a chance for the Cats to move to 7-4, currently leading by 28 points here at half-time. So we're debating just before the news what Matthew Nix's messaging might be at half-time. Do you imagine Ramery might have pulled out some vision, maybe got the laptop out and shown some of their players some of their errors potentially for what they're trying to address in the way they play?
Oh, no doubt. Look, there was probably a lot to go through, particularly with the way they were just using that ball. So, you know, I think a lot of the times too, it's showing the space that you actually have around a contest, around a stoppage, to use that space rather than just slamming on the boot. And that's just, that's playing into Geelong's hands. They've set up so well behind the ball for so many years. We've spoken a lot about Tom Stewart, Sellers, but Sam DeConey's been terrific today as well. Whether it's been taking intercept marks or spoiling. So he's had 8 possessions, 6 of those have been intercepts. So he's been really good also for the Cats down back.
He sets it up really well. I mean, and he's a bit of an impact. He can jump, he can mark, he does all the things really well. And that's come because I've seen his 2 or 3 early games. He was nowhere near as good as that. But now he's starting to work into it. He understands the game. He's got people around him who know as well, who encourage and want you to be good at it. And there's no doubt in my mind that Miller has to go to Stewart. I mean, he's hardly touched the ball.
Give him a job.
2 possessions.
Give him a job to do.
This is
Give
your
him some
job.
Confidence.
Yeah, I agree. That's how it works. And players respond to that.
Yep.
And I'm surprised that the Adelaide blokes haven't started doing something with that, because he's had 20 possessions sitting on his own. He's a winger who folds back. That's what Stewart is. They play him on a wing, but he folds back and takes that area up and doesn't worry about the winger. Who cares? No one gives a hoot. And then he just runs a roost back there and controls. They've got to stop it.
And the 200-centimetre teenager on debut, Shannon Neal from Western Australia. He's had the 4 touches, had a good couple of knock-ons, but hasn't really imposed himself yet on the contest. But there may be a chance to do so if the Cats get plenty more inside 50s in this second half.
He'll get his opportunity. I think he's done a couple of nice things, as you mentioned. But we've got to understand these taller blokes. They do take a little bit of time. He'll eventually be a ruckman for Geelong. So you just want to see glimpses. That's all you want to see.
Cats by 28, second half on Grandstand AFL. Geelong and Adelaide. Looks like Ned McHenry's standing next to Tom Stewart, but probably won't be running with him. He's trying to get some space early. In the middle, high bounce. Blitzav's won it down. Selwood with a further paddle. Slapped it forward, straight to Jackson Haitley. He's wrapped up by Atkins. Ball trickles out to Keys. He's swung down by Blitzavs. Spills out to Cameron. Handball cut off. Spills back to Brodie Smith. Now the Crows through a chain of handballs. Dawson and Haitley. Panic kick up towards centre wing broadcast side. And Tom Stewart is all alone waiting back. 1-2 with Joel Selwood and pierces the kick. Hits the chest of Cameron. Kept going. He's all alone on the broadcast side. Along the boundary. Kicks into the 50. He hit close. We're back with the flight. Lost it as he tried to mark. Hit the turf and it bounced out.
Had 4 possessions in a row.
Boundary throw in left forward pocket. Tom Stewart's gone bang.
Please get on him.
I think everyone at Kardinia Park is on the same page. Surely the Adelaide players have to be thrown back in. Hawkins tries to knock it down to the front, comes the way of Haitley of the Adelaide Crows, gives it to Keys, kicks towards the boundary line. In the end, it comes off the hands of Zach Guthrie, playing behind against Shane McAdam, and a boundary throw-in. Minute into the third quarter. Geelong leading by 28 points. Cats have had such a good record over Adelaide here at Kardinia Park, having won their last 11 from the throw-in. Blitzhouse to the front. Atkins knocks it around the boundary line. Parfitt did try and throw it. Dawson gathers, tackled by Joel Selwood. Now comes to Brodie Smith. It's his problem as he's tackled by Parfitt, and the umpire will throw it up. Left forward pocket for the Cats. About 45 metres around at the construction end at Kardinia Park.
I think Joel Selwood's showing dissent.
Fair bit of mouth inside attacking 50 for the Cats as Hawkins slaps it down. He's looking for Atkins. Had Haitley all over him, riding his back. Dawson comes to assist, and he's escorted over the boundary line as well. No score so far in the third. Geelong up by 28 points. 8-5-53, plays 3-7-25. Tom Stewart's now up to 23. Toss back into play. O'Brien in front position. Tried to slap it down. Caught the outside of his hand and trickled down to Cameron. Handball wide to Isaac Smith. Loads up from 70. Up to the top of the goal square. There's a whistle on the play. It's going Adelaide's way. Free kick to the visitors inside defensive 50. Luke Brown will play on quickly to the left back pocket rather, and spots up Ben Keys.
He's done a pretty good job so far on Stengel, Luke Brown. Stengel's only kicked the 1 goal, 7 possessions.
In his third season of the Adelaide Crows, Keys kicks up to the wing. Thilthorpe was there, had the arms chopped, and will have a free kick out left half back. Of course, Ben Keys ran unwanted by the Brisbane Lions, delisted, and he's
done a terrific job at the Crows.
Leading a lot of possessions, stats, clearances alongside Laird.
Well, he's created a career for himself at the Crows.
Up towards Fogarty at half forward, gets the hand pass to Miller. Here's Keys on cue, runs through 50, kicks off the outside of the boot. It's going to fall short, and McHenry takes the mark. In the left forward pocket, he's going to race around, snap on his right, and miss. Oh, felt like that should have been a lay-down miss there. And they have had their issues in front of goal. 3-8, and that was a golden chance to start the second half. It's Geelong by 27, 3 minutes gone, third term.
They've raced out a defensive 50 as well. Cam Guthrie had it, met a brick wall, and Riley Thilthorpe turned around, tried to kick it to Smith. And under pressure, he's been nudged in the contest, receives a free kick. It looked like it was going to be a turnover. So Isaac Smith, left half back.
Not sure what Cam Guthrie was doing there.
Didn't know where to go when he ran into Thilthorpe. The switch is now on across defensive 50. Stewart marks, keeps going. Awful kick, though, came out of Kolajaz, and he was trying to get towards Buse, who's now outnumbered at the fall of the ball. Murphy swung him around, trickled out to McHenry, gives it off to Rowe. Saligo now kicks from 35. Has he done enough? Yes! Jake Saligo converts for the Crows on the tight angle in the left forward pocket. He's got his second of the year in his 5th game for Adelaide. Gives them a little bit of hope, down to a 21-point game, 8-5-53. Plays 4-8-32, 4 minutes played in the third on Grandstand AFL.
I reckon that's their first turnover goal they've got from the forward half. There hasn't been a lot of chase, tackle, harass in that area. There was a little mess up there, a little tackle there and chase, and all of a sudden it turns around and they kick a goal easily, which is really what you're after. It's their first turnover goal in the front half that they've actually got, Adelaide, and well done to them.
One of a couple of teenagers out there for the Adelaide Crows on the board with the first goal of the second half, and hoping that there might be something that the pride of South Australia can build on. Bounce back in the middle, O'Brien up against Blitzhouse. O'Brien one down the tap, got it to Laird, hand pass to Keys, feeds the hand pass back to O'Brien. The ruckman kicks inside 50, straight down the middle. Stewart sets himself and takes the mark on the double grab.
Yeah.
Lockie Murphy over the top of him in frustration. They couldn't impact him in the marking contest, and Tom Stewart just does that so well. Short to Zach Guthrie, and we might see a few more occasions throughout the afternoon. To brother Cam Guthrie, still inside the defensive 50. Looks out to the Hickey stand wing where Blitzhouse has run into space. He takes the mark and plays on. Around O'Brien, sends a long ball in the direction of Hawkins, butts in from the side, spoils it down for Adelaide. Smith onto it, tackle by Hawkins, a vice-like tackle as he locks the footy to his chest. And we'll throw it up 75 metres out from Geelong's goal. Cats leading by 21 points. 5 minutes gone, third term.
Tossed up, right half forward for Geelong. Blitzsav slapped it straight down to Miller. Clear and kick around the body, bounced in front of Thilthorpe and over him. At the back was waiting to Koning. Handed it off to Stewart. There he is again inside 50.
Mark.
O'Brien in the pack.
Gee, that was a great mark.
Stood his ground, cut it off in the air. And the big ruck for the Crows has stepped off his line, didn't realise, called to play on. Rushes the kick up towards left half back. 2 on 2, Miller is forced to spoil. Boundary throw in to come. Lauren Borden downstairs.
Well, Lockie Murphy's playing on at the moment with a suspected broken nose. The club has said it was hard to stop the bleeding coming from his nose at the end of the second term. He was the last one into the rooms, and the club thinks it's a suspected broken nose, but he's happy to play on.
Thanks, Lauren. Get the Luke ball bandage around the nose. Breathe out of the mouth. Not as easy as it sounds. Throw back in. And Blitzhouse has given away the free kick in a tangle with O'Brien. He has it at left half back for the Adelaide Crows.
Looks like that O'Brien's going to play back on his own, stay in the back half when he wants to. Not going to follow Blitzhouse, which is a good idea. You said that before, Rammer.
He's looked left, looked right, looked backwards. Now kicks it long towards Thilthorpe. Spoiled out of it. A chance for De Koning. Still a chance for Adelaide, though. They pinch it back. Murphy to Miller inside 50. And Fogarty takes the mark on the lead.
See, that's the way you get Geelong. Geelong always play back shoulder as defenders. So you come at the kicker there. There's Fogarty again.
That's his third or fourth mark.
Yeah, inside forward 50. So he's doing a good job. He's recognising where his opponent is, then leading at the kicker.
With no Taylor Walker this afternoon, no Josh Rochelle. He seems the most likely avenue to goal. Darcy Fogarty kicking for his third from just inside 50. Gives it a good roost and steers it through. Fogarty with his third. And Adelaide all of a sudden have kicked 2 on the trot to start the third term, and the margin is back to 15 points Geelong's way. 8-5-53 to the Crows, 5-8-38. Meanwhile, at the Gabba, it's the Brisbane Lions finally in front against the Giants, 10-5-65 to GWS, 10-1-61. Early stages third term there as well.
You got to persist with Lockie Fogarty.
I agree.
I know, yeah.
Darcy
Fogarty, sorry. I know it's his 5th year, I understand all that, but you look today, he's kicked 3 out of the Crows' 5 goals. He looks like their most dangerous forward. He looks like he understands what's happening. Now, okay, I get it with Taylor Walker, it's a little bit harder to find that space, and because they sort of play a similar style of game, but just he's a high draft pick, he's clearly talented, and today he's showing that.
Cats by 15 in the middle. Ball trickles out in front of Hughes, who becomes the tackler on Matt Crouch. Came through on the side. Ball up to come inside the square.
And I say that, Aaron, because if I was another club, I'd be taking him 100%. No questions asked.
Quick ball up. O'Brien beats Neil down to Miller. A tackled as he tried to get boot to ball. Completely missed. Play continues. Stevens brought down by Haitley. Umpire circles attacking edge of the square for the Crows. Calls another ball up. See if third time's the charm to get some territory. Tossed up.
So they're now under 3 goals.
Neil down to Matt Crouch. He spun in the Duncan tackle. Lost it. Hit the deck. He regathered. Umpire calls play on again. Now plenty of players dive onto the footy. It spills out to Haitley. Gave it to O'Brien, who had 3 around him. Ball still stuck inside the square, attacking edge, right-hand side for the Crows. Haitley now to Crouch, gets it out to Miller in a bit of space, slips over though outside the 50, caught in the tackle and drops it. Adelaide were away, and they've just coughed it up to Geelong. Free kick to the Cats, who now have it at left half-back through Isaac Smith.
I think Wayne Miller have found out you have 3 opportunities, even at AFL level compared to Sample. That's too many. As the Cats work it through, Isaac Smith at left half-back, kicks around the wing, Neil up with one arm, can't take the mark, the young teenager, over the footy, Duday. Eventually Adelaide do emerge, Dawson to Smith, back to Dawson, beautiful work to a stationary Keys, he's cannon into. They turn it over, close for the Cats, to Evans, to Stevens, all in tight confinement, to Parford, to Atkins, now more space, hand pass to close to Cam Guthrie, gets the left half forward, squares it up, it's over the head of Duncan, it bounces in front of Tui, the 2 combine, Tui gathers, chips it further, still it's over the head of Zach Guthrie. It's not pretty footy. Hand pass to Jeremy Cameron, back to Zach Guthrie, he seemed over the line. The field umpire was right onto that, and the umpire will throw it in. Right half forward for the Cats. I'm not sure how they didn't end up with a shot on goal.
Just to finish off on Fogarty, this is the mid-season trade debate. Do you reckon Collingwood would like him in their team at the moment with no forwards?
Totally.
Bulldogs, Essendon, I can think of a few clubs who would love another forward.
Correct.
Toss back in, O'Brien in front position. Got the double tap down, but went through his hands in the end, straight back to Neil. He's wrapped up by his opposing ruckman. Ball up to come, still right half forward for the Cats. O'Brien wins it down again. Ricochets out towards the Crows' advantage. Saligo has to become the tackler on Cam Guthrie. Brought him to ground. Ball trickles out towards the boundary line. Tui's racing back to gather on the logo, but Fogarty beats him to it. The handball intended for Keys, who was the outside runner. Just threw it over his head. And now a boundary throw-in is forced out on the Hickey side. And disposal efficiency stuck at 55% for the Crows. Tom Stewart up to 26 touches. Sellers haven't made the change yet. O'Brien again wins it down.
They haven't made a change yet. They won't make a change now.
Stevens put his head over the footy, busted it out towards Parford, who gives it to Atkins around the body. High footy up towards right half forward. It's dangerous along the boundary line and just carries over out on the full free kick to Adelaide.
But you've got to remember, they're under 3 goals behind now. They're not far off this game.
Zerde works it back inside the defensive 50 to Hinge, who switches play out to Murray, who marks in the right back pocket for the Adelaide Crows. Now where to? Works it to Brown, who marks it left half back. Wanted to give the hand pass to McHenry. Dawson's there as well, around the boundary line. That works, and the mark taken by Haitley.
I'd give it to Dawson every day. He goes all right with the ball in his hand, doesn't he?
And the choice between the 2 South Australian clubs. Picked Adelaide. As Haitley sends it towards half forward. Where's the intended target? McHenry tried to shove his opponent out. It might still work for Adelaide. Berry onto it. Cuts through traffic. Arches the back away from Stevens. Gets it to Smith. Inside 50. Keys just can't take the mark. Evans spoils it down. Fogarty back to Keys. Bounces it end over end. And eventually kicks the goal. Adelaide were able to work it from half back to inside the 50, and Ben Keys was able to finish the work. And that might be their most promising passage of play given the ball movement. And it's back to a 9-point Geelong lead. The Cats 8-5-53 to Adelaide 6-8-44. One of the hardest workers on the Crows list, Ben Keys, on the scoreboard.
Yeah, Ben Keys is a good goal and all of that. But to me, if the umpires cannot see a push in the back, which I think has been in the rules for 150 years, I see them every week, they don't pay them. Why? And this is worse than the dissent rule, I would think, in a sense, because that is one of the rules that have been in the game for so long. But you can just push them in the back and get them out of the way. That's just wrong. And now I understand why the Cats supporters went mad.
The voice of Mark McClure, Adam Ramanauskas, also your experts this afternoon. Aaron Bryans, Matt Clinch with you. The Crows with 4 unanswered goals either side of half-time.
There are bigger issues in the umpiring department than that, I can tell you. 9-point
lead to the Cats in the middle. O'Brien tries to take it away from the ruck contest. Tried to get it to Crouch, who slides in, flicks a handball in front of Keys, shrugs away from Stevens, kicks a tumbler that bounces up towards Fogarty. He's beaten in the air. Kolajasny flew but couldn't bring it down cleanly. Now diving in, McAdam lays a tackle. Geelong, a couple of players stuck underneath it. No prior opportunity. So a ball up to come top of the square. Duncan makes his way off the back of the pack, clutching his back.
Now they're 9 points down, which is a really good effort by Adelaide.
Another chance as well. Fogarty wins the ruck contest, but Stevens came through for the Cats, gave it to Stewart. Clears defensive 50. Hamill nearly took it back with the flight, bounced off him straight towards Myers. He's wrapped up just on the boundary line. I think it stayed in. So a ball up to come left half forward for the Crows.
Right in front of those pocket of Adelaide fan cells. Can you see him leaning over the fence?
No.
Come on.
Can't hear him.
I'll give you my binoculars. Near where the Crows race is, a chance for Geelong through. Tui broke one tackle, almost tackled by Keys, but off balance as he got his kick away. He puts it out on the full. So Adelaide will get another chance to go inside 50.
You know any of those guys over there?
Aaron might. It's been a while since I lived in Adelaide.
I avoid Adelaide Crows parties.
Don't tell me.
Cheerio to our South Australian listeners who are Crows fans. Chance for Matt Crouch to kick Adelaide into attack. Stewart up, can't take the mark. Rowe front and centre. Hand pass to O'Brien, back to Rowe. He's retreated back to 45 metres out. He's squared it up to Jordan Dawson. It's not a bad effort. 55 metres out, goes bang and misses to the right. Just offline. Adelaide are playing a lot better in this third quarter. The margin is back to 8 points Geelong's way. 15 minutes gone. Third term. Meanwhile, at the Gabba, it's the Lions 11-6-72.
They were down 30 points at one stage, you know that.
Just a goal scored to the Giants. They're 11-1-67. So back to a 5-point margin. Brisbane's way.
Tui kicks out the defensive goal square to Duncan. Right back pocket, plays on out towards the outer wing. Contest awaits, so Brian slaps it down. Front position was Atkins. Uses Evans, then close. Outstanding chain of handballs in a tight space. They get it out forward to Myers. Inside he looks for Stevens. Fumbled and Berry can run him down. It was a push in the back. The umpire doesn't pay it though. Fell right into him, Sam Berry, and gets away with it.
No, it's a new rule. Don't pay it.
Not according to last night. Everything was paid, Sellers. Tossed up. Blitzav slaps it down straight towards Rory Laird, who tried to scoop it in. He did reel it in as he was tackled. That'll be holding the ball. You got to try and get it out. Free kick to the Cats, right half forward.
Inside 57-5, Adelaide's way in this third quarter. As close as it.
And their kicking efficiency is a lot better at 67% this quarter.
Close puts it into the right forward pocket. Neal's in the pack. Blitzhouse front and centre. Hand pass to Jessica Cameron. Can't get around Matt Crouch. Hand pass to Myers. He throws it on the boot. Acrobatically puts it through. Myers with his third. Spinning and twisting with all the craftsmanship of a small forward. And most importantly, able to bounce it through. Just what Geelong needed. Their first goal of the second half. After the Crows had put 4 goals on the trot either side of half-time. 9-5-59 to Adelaide 6-9-45. 17 minutes gone. Third term, ABC Sport.
I think what's most pleasing for Geelong with that goal is the effort of Shannon Neal in that contest. So he creates a contest against 2 Crow defenders there, and then it's just a little quick chain of handballs. First from Blitzars, then from Jeremy Cameron, then Myers. Would have got the free kick anyway, but was able to kick the goal. But it was the contest by Shannon Neal that created that ball, was able to bring the ball to ground. That's all that you want out of the big fella.
Cats back up by 14 points at Cardinia Park. Round 11 on Wadawurrung land. High bounce. O'Brien rises early, tapped it down to Laird. Only had one arm free, so he couldn't get a disposal away. And Parfitt gets the holding the ball free kick. Wants to go immediately. Uses Blitzarves. Loads up towards the left foot pocket. Neil soars, but can't bring it down. Spilled to Smith. Tapped it out towards Hinge, and now Butts is swung down. Ball up to come. 30 out straight in front.
And that's the confidence that Neil gets. So he creates a contest to get a goal. Now this contest he goes and puts the knee in and creates another contest.
So I'll start. Hawkins won it down looking for Evans. Nearly cut off by Hinge. Berry now can get it out for the Crows. Gave it to Murray, whose kick was smothered. Skies its way up towards the paint of defensive 50 for Adelaide. And Stewart is sitting back. Piercing kick that bounces its way towards the top of the square. Adelaide have numbers. O'Brien uses Saligo, races through traffic and heads up the corridor towards the outer side. Sitting back, Zach Guthrie beats McAdam. Turns and goes, puts the Jets on and hits inside 50 towards Zach Tui. The kids are all right down back for the Cats. And Zach Tui gets a shot on goal. 40 out, 45-degree angle to the right.
Well, the Cats didn't get sucked into going down too deep in their forward line. They just waited back, and Zach Guthrie, who took an easy mark, had nowhere to go with it, had to kick at that space, and Tui's on the end of it.
Contract year for the 32-year-old. No signs of slowing down, averaging 22 touches a game. 4-1 for the year as well. This will be a tricky one. The Hops get in. Tui on the kick. It's across the face. In the behind line, Neil flew and nearly brought it down. Brown puts a handball out looking for Duday, then Dawson's tackled over the line. So no score for the Cats, up by 14.
Just take the ball through. It's just now boundary line throw in such an attacking position for Geelong. Hawkins so good in these situations.
Cats by 14 points. Hawkins in the right way against O'Brien, clears the two. Jezza Cameron runs onto it, turns on his left and makes the most of it. Jezza kicks his third. Sure, you can really say Hawkins combined in that goal too much, but give Jeremy Cameron too much space and he'll make you pay. And after Adelaide kicked the first 3 goals of this third quarter, all of a sudden the Cats kick the next 2, and it's back to a 20-point ball game. Geelong 10-5-65 to Adelaide 6-9-45. The thoughts of Adam Ramanauskas and Mark McLuhan.
Well, the two tools up there are just awesome when you talk about Cameron and Hawkins. Hawkins didn't have any play in that at all, but Jeremy Cameron had enormous play. It was incredible athleticism to get the ball around and screw it back in through the middle of the goals. He's unstoppable in that area, and he's making mincemeat of the small forwards. No small forwards could even get anywhere near that. So the two of them on their own, they should just get rid of the rest of them out of there and push them out of the way, because they are just awesome, the two of them.
They do leave space though, Rama. They work so well in tandem.
Yeah, but that goal shouldn't have happened. No. There should have been a rush behind.
In the middle, Blitzarves takes it away from the ruck contest. Another inside 50 for the Cats. Long ball, 2-on-2. Hawkins couldn't fly. Murray did. Nearly cleaned up his teammate. He did in the end. Butts is at the fall of the ball and hasn't moved. Dawson gathers. He's tackled. It's Jordan Butts. He was stuck with Hawkins. He didn't fly. Murray came in and threw a knee right into his head. He's cleaned him up, and thankfully Jordan Butts has just got back to his feet. Trainer wants to get out there, but the umpire's going to ball it up. 30 out from the Cats goal. Hawkins wins it down. Cameron overran the footy. Then Hawkins tackles Laird. Could have been high. Umpire instead says ball up as the trainer makes his way to Jordan Butts to see if there's any issue. He looks a little woozy, but they'll go again anyway. O'Brien slaps it down to Laird. Quick clearance for the Crows as he heads up towards the broadcast wing.
It's to Thilthorpe, who takes an excellent mark in front of Kolajasny. Turns and comes inboard to Rowe. No one's on the mark. Kicks to Miller, he marks on his chest. He took a step, he played on, and Tom Stewart's got him. Spotted Lockie Murphy pushing forward, wanted to move it quickly. And then Riley Thilthorpe didn't throw the footy back on the full, no 50.
That didn't go 15, did it?
Goes short to Isaac Smith. I don't think that was 15, so maybe a square up with the no 50-metre penalty. Into the middle of the ground, Buse with the hand pass to Tui, to Kolajasny, hand pass to the skipper Selwood, squares it up towards Cameron, it's over his head and Brown as well. Duday ran onto it, now has a fumble and a second, lost it, Myers gathers, gets the hand pass away to Neil, he can't get a disposal away. Evans tries to jam it onto his boot, can't do so. Hand pass straight to Luke Brown of Adelaide, and the Crows through numbers. Laird works it away, Hamill kicks to the half-back line. And the mark is taken by Saligo.
Short pass to Rowe. He's still left half back. Takes it on the chest, wants to play on along the boundary line. Down the line he heads, and O'Brien's outnumbered and beaten by Buse. Intercept mark again for the Cats on the outer side. The sun beaming down on the Hickey stand. Buse instead looks backwards and uses Tom Stewart. He just said, mate, I need another touch. That's 10 for the quarter to Tom. And now the switch is on for the Cats. De Koning heads out towards the broadcast wing to Cam Guthrie. On the 45, he uses Isaac Smith. In the meantime, there's been zero pressure on any of these marks. Down the line, Zach Guthrie, too far out to score. Left half forward, heads into the left forward pocket, getting a run at it. Hawkins and Cameron. O'Brien as well, and he beats both of them. Nice intercept grab for the Crows ruckman. Adelaide down by 20. They're trying to just stem the momentum of the home side after a hot start. Adelaide, they've just let go the last two.
Poor kick by Zach Guthrie.
O'Brien
floater.
Out to Duday to Hinge, who kicks up to Rowe at half back. Hand pass to Saligo, had a fumble, tackle by De Koning and seen out of play. The hand pass went straight over the boundary line, up by said insufficient attempt. And Sam De Koning will take the free kick. It's got to be close to a Rising Star nominee, Rammer. Surely close. Cameron Ling, the Mayor of Geelong, can put a word or two in. I think he does the end of season, not really the week to week, to be fair. I'm sure he'd be putting plenty of pressure on. De Koning long to the top of the 50. Myers had it spoiled away from him. Crouch couldn't gather. Hand pass from Tui to Parfitt. Blind hand pass. Boundary side to Stengel. Squaring kick. Neil in the pack. Can't take the mark. He's had a few of those almost moments. Duday. Hand pass missed Hamill. The intended target. Cam Guthrie to Parfitt. Snaps on the right. He can't screw it back enough. And fails to score. Out of bounds on the full. Up against the right behind post. That quarter of the ground, the eastern side, is bathed in sunlight. There's a few players struggling to see. Need almost the Mason Cox prescription goggles.
How many committees is Lingy on?
A few.
Yeah.
What's he up to now, Rammer?
Yeah, I reckon he's double figures.
Outside defensive 50. Dawson went long to a pack. Spilled front and square to Guthrie. That's Cam. Uses De Koning. Now Tui. Along the boundary line. Right forward pocket. Hawkins nearly claims it. Knocked out of the air by Murray, who nearly flew straight into the LED fencing, and I think he's collected it as he slid through the boundary line. It's a bit proppy on his left leg. Nick Murray went hard to try and prevent the contested mark. And now his knee's in a bit of trouble. Play's going to continue with the boundary throw-in, but Murray cannot walk. Trainers are escorting him across the goal face as it's tossed back into play. Hawkins got rid of Thilthorpe, but neither ruck got a tap. Selwood's wrapped up immediately by Laird. That'll give Murray some time to get his way towards the benches.
No, not now.
So is Lingy any good at the committee? What committee is he good at?
Ball up 35 out. Hawkins gets a handball back to Tui, then close. Now Cam Guthrie centres his kick brilliantly to his younger brother, Zach, and then kicks into the left forward pocket looking for Stengel, who was caught behind Brown. Brown knocked it out of the 50. Stengel goes again, hands it to Cam Guthrie, back to Stengel, races his way to 30 and is wrapped up by Hamill. Lost it in the tackle, holding the ball. Stengel with too much dare, and Will Hamill caught him.
And that's okay. It's good by both, I think. Good tackle by Hamill, but you don't want to stop Stengel taking the game on.
Yeah, I think Chris Scott would like that mentality. As Hamill goes short to Luke Brown, Murray might be able to slowly get off the ground. We'll get Lauren Borden to keep an eye on Jordan Butts, who's headed down the rooms as well. The kick's a half back. Selwood, his hand pass looking for Tui is just too wide and it goes out of play.
Murray's staying on.
Yes.
So then they've dropped.
So Butts is off the ground at the moment. So Duday's on Neil. Brown's on Stengel.
Just trying to find Jeremy Cameron.
Yeah, Murray's on Hawkins. Thrown back in. Blitzouts tries to take it out of the ruck against Thilthorpe. Kicks inside the 50. Duday got an awkward bounce. Hawkins tried to get the hand pass to Neil. Couldn't quite combine. And Brodie Smith cuts through traffic for Adelaide. Hand pass to Hinge in the left back pocket. Kicks up to Thilthorpe, who takes the mark at left half back for the Crows.
Looks on the 45 inside the corridor. Hately's outnumbered by Selwood. Brought to ground. Buse comes across. Thought he had more time than he did, and Miller wraps him up. Holding the ball to the Cats.
That's good by Miller. He's made some mistakes this quarter.
Doesn't waste any time. Heads to the outer wing to Rowe.
You want to see that intent by him, the tackle and chase still.
Down the line, he looks for Fogarty. Marks uncontested. Laird kept running. Hands it off to him. Then forward he goes to Keys. The handball chain finds Haitley. 30 from goal. Tied in the left forward pocket. He snaps and misses to the left-hand side. It's a great passage of play. They just couldn't finish it. 19-point game at Cardinia. Geelong 10-5-65. And the clearing kick out of defensive 50 is out on the full. Free kick to the Adelaide Crows. Played on. Shanked it. Jordan Dawson has it. It's not his preferred pocket. He likes the left, but he could kick this.
Easy.
Man on the marks on the paint of 50. Dawson opens the angle. Centres his kick to the top of the square. Packer waits. In it, nearly taken there by De Koning. Brought it to ground in the end. Diving through. Ben Keys tried to rip it out and was wrapped up by a couple. Ball up to come top of the square for the Crows, down by 19.
That's Mitch Duncan barrel territory, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Seen a couple of good barrels. Jezza Cameron last week here at Cardinia Park. Thilthorpe doing the ruck work. Tried to get in on his boot, couldn't do so. Stripped of it. Parfitt's hand pass, pinched by Laird. Hand pass to Rowe, through traffic, missed Murphy. And close with the hand pass to Parfitt. Still a chance for Adelaide though. Fogarty knocks it on to Lockie. Murphy kicks to the goal mouth. Kolajasny got rid of McAdam, takes the mark. To Stewart on the goal line. He's going to have to step back as Thilthorpe's there. And through for a minor score. Geelong by 18 points. Lauren Borden on the boundary.
Yeah, so Jordan Batts has gone down into the room to do a concussion test. Took the physios a while to get him off the field, but they were able to do that. You mentioned Jeremy Cameron. He came off when Batts came off, but he'll be looking to get back on the ground shortly.
Off the rush behind, Tom Stewart kicks it short to Sam De Koning in the left back pocket. Tom Stewart's best is 40 disposals. He had it in round 7. He's over 30 already, not even at three-quarter time. From the contest, it came to ground. Dawson gathered for the Crows, quick inside 50 entry. And sitting back is Jake Kolajasny for the Cats. 3-goal game at Cardinia. Adelaide with an early surge in the third. Geelong slowed things down a little. Clearing kick is not great though. In a one-on-one, Brown and Close held each other and Thilthorpe came across to cut it off. Central kick was intended for Smith, who slipped over. Cam Guthrie cuts it off. Takes the intercept mark for Geelong and they're surging forward. He has so many to use. Decides to go to Myers with a short kick instead. And now the switch across half back. Finds O'Connor. The Crows, meanwhile, have got back now. Too little too late for the Cats. 50-metre penalty. Mark O'Connor will be taken through the corridor.
So it's a bad penalty for the Crows to pay. They've kicked 3-4 to Geelong's 2 straight. O'Connor won't even wait for the full 50. Long to Hawkins, who shoved Murray out of the way. Didn't take the mark. Parfitt could get boot to ball. McHenry deep into defence to Duday, to Smith under enormous pressure. Laird just hacks it out of there. Kicks to half back. Awkward ball for Cam Guthrie. Used his body to volley it forward. Then pinch it off Haitley. Gets the hand pass to Tui. Outside of the boot. Zach Tui does the rest. After Cam Guthrie was able to just volley it forward with his chest to blunt the awkward bounce. And a good team goal for the Cats, set up by Cam Guthrie. Geelong back in front by 24 points, 11-5-71 to the Crows 6-11-47. So all of a sudden that's 3 goals apiece in this third term, with the Cats kicking the last 3. Meanwhile, the Gabba, the Giants led by as much as 30 points, but it's the Brisbane Lions now comfortably in front. 14-10-94 to the Giants, 11-68. Approaching three-quarter time there as well.
Well, it all starts with Cam Guthrie, the intercept across half-back. So, you know, that was probably 2 minutes ago. And then they get the ball forward, and Guthrie's involved again with just a scrappy kick outside defensive 50 by the Crows. He attacks the ball. If he stops, the ball might just bounce anywhere and go over his head, but he attacks the ball and keeps it going, keeps the momentum of that ball going forward.
After the Crows got it down to 8 points, it's back to 24 to the Cats, and they get another clearance through Cam Guthrie. He's shining in the third. On the 45, he hits Evans out on the outer wing. Heads into the right forward pocket. Flat kick intended for Hawkins. Back with the flight. Brown cut it off with a hand in the air. And Myers can't keep it in play. He squirts it over the boundary line.
13 possessions this quarter for Cam Guthrie. 6 of those contested.
He went at about 30% last week, didn't he?
And 100%
kicking efficiency
in this quarter.
This quarter. Second best in his career, 38 touches last week. Toss back into play. Sam Berry wrapped up immediately, and that'll do us For 3 quarters of footy at Cardinia Park, Adelaide shined early. 3 unanswered goals to bring it down to an 8-point margin. Geelong have answered back with 3 of their own, and it's a 24-point ball game at 3-quarter time. 11-5-71 plays 6-11-47.
So after Geelong led by 10 points at quarter time, by 28 at half time, it's a comfortable 24-point lead, as Aaron mentioned. Adelaide got within 8 points in that third quarter. For the Cats, 3 goals to Jeremy Cameron, 3 goals to Graham Myers, a couple to Tom Hawkins, individuals to Tui, Selwood and Stengel for the Cats. Meanwhile, their goals for the Adelaide Crows through Darcy Fogarty, who has 3 individuals to McAdam, Saligo and Keys. 3-quarter time at Cardinia Park. It's Geelong leading by 24 points on Grandstand AFL on ABC Radio and ABC Sport Digital.
Massive interest rate cuts from the
25% increase in
infectious.
Keep across the news that matters to you with the ABC Listen app.
Get up-to-the-minute local, national and world news, live and on demand.
US and NATO officials believe
In-depth investigations from ABC podcasts.
Like Triple J's Hack, ABC News Daily and many more.
All the news that matters to you.
With the ABC Listen app.
This is Sir Doug Nichols Round
Grandstand AFL
on ABC Radio and ABC Sport Digital.
Stuart Marks keeps going. Awful kick, though, came out of College As, and he was trying to get towards Buse, who's now outnumbered at the fall of the ball. Murphy swung him around, trickled out to McHenry, gives it off to Rose. Saligo now kicks from 35. Has he done enough? Yes!
Ferry onto it, cuts through traffic, arches the back away from Stevens, gets it to Smith, inside 50, Keys just can't take the mark, Evans spoils it down, Fogarty back to Keys, bounces it end over end, and eventually kicks the goal. Close puts it into the right forward pocket, kneels in the pack, Blitzhouse front and centre, hand pass to Jessica Cameron, can't get around Matt Crouch, hand pass to Myers, he throws it on the boot, acrobatically puts it through, Myers with his third. Hawkins in the right wing against O'Brien, clears the 2. Jessica Cameron runs onto it, turns on his left and makes the most of it. Jezza kicks his third. Harford could get boot to ball. McHenry deep into defence to Duday, to Smith under enormous pressure. Lair just hacks it out of there. Kicks the half back. Awkward ball for Cam Guthrie. Uses his body to volley it forward. Then pinch it off Haley. Gets the half pass to Tui. Outside of the boot. Zach Tui does the rest.
The Sir Doug Nichols Round
on ABC Radio and ABC Sport Digital.
3-quarter time at Cardinia Park. Geelong lead Adelaide by 24 points, 11-5-71 to the Crows, 6-11-47. The term started brightly for Adelaide with the first 3 goals, but Geelong would finish with the next 3 of the term. Meanwhile, at the Gabba, it's the Brisbane Lions at 3-quarter time, leading by 21 points against the Giants, 14-11-95 to the Giants, 12-2-74. The Giants kicked 6 of the first 7 goals, got out by 30 points, but it's Brisbane in control at 3-quarter time by 20 points. Toby Green and Link McCarthy with 3 goals, and James Peatling with 3 goals as well for the Giants. Dan McStay and Dev Robertson with 2. After this match, we're all heading to the MCG, the much-awaited clash between Nam taking on the Freo Dockers. To preview that clash, good afternoon to Joel Peterson.
Good afternoon, Clinchy. Known by any name, they've established themselves as the benchmark of the competition, but today the Nam Football Club runs into maybe its sternest test yet as it hosts Freo in a top 4 tussle here at the MCG. The D's are a perfect 10-0, having rampaged their way through the start of the season, and they have established themselves as the benchmark. The upstart Dockers made a few statements of their own en route to a 7-1 start, including one down there in Geelong, but they've struggled on wet tracks at their past 2 starts to lose to Collingwood and the Gold Coast. But it might just be the game Justin Longmuir's side needs to get itself up and going again and see whether they can match it with the best the competition has to offer in a rare trip to the venue that decides it all at season's end. They not only have to break Melbourne's 17-game winning streak to do it, but a 3-game losing streak here at the MCG dating back to round 11 2019, highlighting how scarcely they play here. Viney and Wiedemann come in for the Demons. Luke Dunstan is the sub, while Brandon Walker replaces the suspended Sam Switkowski for Freo. Bailey Banfield is the medical sub for the Dockers. A couple of teams in the top 4 going at it, Clinchy. It's about 40 minutes away.
Thanks, Joel. We'll be with you at the completion of this game alongside Jess Webster, Nathan Burke, Chris Johnson and Kez Peterson on the boundaries of the Melbourne Football Club, taking on the name Naarm Football Club as part of Sir Doug Nichols round. Naarm, the traditional Indigenous name for Melbourne. Three-quarter time here at Cardinia Park. Adelaide got within 8 points, but Geelong a three-quarter time lead by 24 points. Adam Ramanauskas and Mark McClure.
Well, the class just showed out. I mean, there's 7 possessions between these two teams in this competition to three-quarter time, but the scores so far apart, miles apart, 11 goals to 6. That's the big difference. Their class and their movement of ball inside 50, their cohesion amongst each other. And they've got 6 goal kickers in this game, and 2 of them have 3 each. And when you have a look at Adelaide, Fogarty's the only one with 3 goals, and there's 3 singles as well, to 6 of those. So they've battled to get it inside 50 and battled to get it through the scores. And the tackle count. This is interesting. The Geelong had 78 tackles to 58. They're still doing the hard work as well as doing the stuff that looks good on the scoreboard as well.
Ahead of Rama, Lauren Borton on the boundary.
Not good news for Jordan Butts. He's been subbed out of the game. It's brought Chase Jones into the match, so he'll be starting on the field for the 4th term with Jordan Butts out.
Thanks, Lauren. So the sub's been activated. Quentin Narkles still not required so far for the Cats. Into the final term we go. Blitz Avs to do battle with O'Reilly once more. O'Brien, should I say. One down the tap, got it to Laird. Hand pass to Keys, bumped off it by Atkins. Comes to Selwood. Quick 1-2 with Parford. Runs away from Haitley. Selwood inside 50. Hawkins and Duday in a wrestle. Hawkins got rid of him. Duday did well to get a fist to it. Murray was taken high. And the Crow defender will take it 35 metres out from his defensive goal. What do you want to see in this final term, Rama?
From the Crows, I want to see some ball movement, I think. I think the contest stuff's been really good today, but I want to see ball movement from them. With Geelong, I just want to see them now put Adelaide to the sword in this final quarter.
Murray up to the wing. O'Brien takes the mark. Hand pass to Haitley. Kicks towards Murphy at half forward. Couldn't take the mark with Duncan there. Stewart for the Cats. Picks it up. Hand pass to O'Connor. Out to Parford on the wing.
Gives it off to Smith, has plenty of space to run into, then loads up into the 50. Neal back with the flight, stuck up a hand, couldn't reel it in, knocked it down to close though, gave it to Cameron, who held it in with one hand behind his back, pulled it around and finishes from the tight angle. He is putting on a show at Cardinia. Jeremy Cameron has 4. He can make anything work. And Geelong are up by 5 goals, 12-5-77 to 6-11-47. Minute played in the final term on Grandstand AFL.
Well, it's just stunning, really, by Jeremy Cameron. Left foot, left pocket, and to be able to snap it. You know, not much daylight between the goalposts that he's playing with. Again, I love the contest from Shannon Neal. You know, he's going back with the flight of the ball, not knowing what's going there, gets the ground close with just a little handball. But Jeremy Cameron, it's just freaky how he's able to do that. So many of his goals come from snapshots. He is so good. It's like he plays like a tall half-forward flanker rather than a centre half-forward.
I think he plays like a small half-forward.
Yeah.
Wedged the footy on his left hip and was able to finish between the 2 sticks, up to 32 goals for the season. Chance for Adelaide in the middle of the ground. Dawson ran into Atkins, had to release a hand pass straight to Tui. Geelong have it now at half forward. Isaac Smith couldn't take it. Brodie Smith tackled by Atkins. Ball spills clear. Tui for Geelong, over the top to close. Gets it to Stengel. He can snap on the right boot as easy as you like. And Tyson Stengel is able to put through his second. And Geelong go bang bang to start the final term. And the margin balloons out to 36 points. 13-5-83 to Adelaide 6-11-47. Tyson Stengel also having a great season with his second goal, moves to 22 for the season.
Straight out of the centre bounce, that's what you want to see. Push it forward. There's little mess up after mess up around the place, but the numbers around the ball and the people who help and stand around to help each other has been apparent, and the Cats were just right there. And Stengel gets on the end. He doesn't miss too many, I can tell you. Now they're dominating the game again. We're actually down there up 7 goals at this stage.
So the Cats by 36 points. It's a game-high margin at Cardinia. It's down to just 8 points midway through the third. Geelong have fired, and they're going again. Cam Guthrie gave it to Selwood, who wasn't looking. Managed to regather anyway. Handball in front of Cooper Stevens. Throws it on the right inside 50 to a 3-on-3. Hamill brought it to ground. May have been clipped high by Cameron. Doesn't matter because the Crows can go through Hinge. Down the broadcast wing, sliding in. McAdam couldn't claim it against Tom Stewart. Buse comes through for the Cats. Handball out to Duncan on the logo. Now Stewart. Disposal number 32 is a good one. Hits up Mark Blitzav's true centre wing in front of the benches. Career best game for Tom Stewart, round 7, was 40 touches, 14 marks. He now has 32 and 13. Up towards the 50, Blitzav's long kick works for Neil. He's shown some great signs on debut. Contested grab against Hinge. And he's thinking about going back with this one as well.
Can he kick this kid?
Torpedo.
He's
Doesn't
been
matter.
brilliant in the
Stand for
VFL. He had 5 goals in his last game. He's had 16 from 7. He can do it. 202 centimetres out of South Fremantle.
Outside 50. He's going to kick this, is he?
Shannon Neal on debut. Loads up, plenty of power. It's coming back, but not enough. And knocked through for a minor score on the line. He's got promise. Minor score to the Cats, 37-point lead.
Of course, members of friends and family holding the banner Go Shaz. Made their way to Cardinia Park. They've been waiting for that moment all afternoon. Well, Brodie Smith plays on, out of bounds. It didn't come back. He has enough time to gather in front of Tom Hawkins. Kicks up to the Hickey stand wing. Fogarty in front position has it spoiled away. Jake Kolajasny sees the ball out of play for a boundary throw in. Bit to like about the 200-centimetre teenager Shannon Neal playing his first game for the Cats. Joins Holly Dempsey, Stevens, Nevitt as players who made their debut in season 2022. From the throw-in, Cam Guthrie gathers, gets a kick towards close, spoiled away from him by Chase Jones. The medical subbing in the action for Butts. It's stuck to the chest of Hamill. And he's thrown to the turf by Cam Guthrie, and the umpire will throw it up 50 metres out from Geelong's goal. Meanwhile, at the Gabba, the Brisbane Lions 14-12-96 lead the Giants 12-74.
Tossed up half forward for the Cats. O'Brien won it down straight to Laird. Cam Guthrie's collected him high. Short kick, was at 15 and Brodie Smith. Umpire says yes, then calls to play on. Brodie Smith forced to kick down the corridor straight to Tom Stewart, who's all alone. Not sure what was going on there with the officiating as Stewart heads back through the corridor, finds Stengel, inside 50 to come for the Cats. He wheels around, spots Hawkins on the lead, nudged Duday but couldn't bring it down, trickles to Parfitt, 35 out, hands it back to Hawkins, centres his kick unselfishly trying to get to Duncan. Dawson cuts it off for Adelaide and goes. Central kick up to half-back to Keys.
No one's on the mark, so Keys can play on. Kicks towards McHenry. Stewart the other way. They cannon into each other. Stewart barely moved. McHenry slowly gets to his feet. Tom Stewart kicks towards Neil at half-forward. Can't take them up, but does gather. He's tackled over the boundary line by Hinge. Oh, goodness me.
That's a great contest by both players.
That was a beauty.
Yeah, both players showed plenty of courage there.
I fear for the safety of Ned McHenry.
There was only one going for the ball.
Yeah.
There was only one going for the ball. McHenry, I don't know if Stewart will get away with that.
Well, there was no contact high. I thought Stewart might have pulled out, but he committed to it from the throw-in. Hately tries to knock it forward. Duncan for the Cats gets a hand pass to Blitzavs. To Parfitt at right half forward. He's going to kick back in the end with nothing really appealing forward of field, and Jed Buse takes the mark on the wing.
28-year-old Cat centres his kick dangerously to the logo. O'Connor was coming out. Dilthorpe stuck her arm out, knocks it over the boundary line in front of the benches. So neutral ball. Geelong by 37 though at the moment. Hot start in the fourth, 2 unanswered goals.
Tom Stewart's had 30 kicks in this game.
What's his efficiency?
83%.
83. There you go. He's beating Adelaide alone. Toss back into the field of play. Blitzavs wins it down looking for Evans. Bounced just in front of him. Couldn't reel it in. Hately throws the ball out. Stengel was there. Gave it to Myers. Caught in the tackle and lost it. Whistled.
Going to get a free kick.
Dumped in the tackle. Chase Jones, the medical subs on and given away a free. Brian Myers has it right half forward. Doesn't waste any time. Flat kick intended down the line for Neil. He cut off Hawkins in the air. Both lost it. Spills to ground. Cam Guthrie dives in. He's wrapped up by a couple. Neil shovels it out though. Stevens to Stengel. Wrapped up, met a brick wall. Couldn't get the footy out. Ball stuck in the turf. And it'll be tossed up. 35 out straight in front for the Cats with a lead of 37 points at Cardinia Park.
Cats are the only 2 goals of the final term. Hawkins doing the ruckwork against O'Brien. Tried to get a boot to it. Dawson kicks straight towards the boundary line. Miller races after it. It goes out in front of him. The umpire says throw it in. Right half forward for the Cats. We take on the Western Bulldogs next week. The Adelaide Crows have got the Eagles before both sides have the bye. Toss back into play. Neil having a run in the ruck here against Riley O'Brien, who takes it out of the ruck. Couldn't get a clean hand pass away. Over the top of the footy was Stevens. McHenry comes up with it for the Crows with dash kicks to Rowe. He still has it left half back, looks into the middle of the ground. He's got a few options, spots up Hinge, who can give the hand pass to the run of Hamill. He runs through the middle of Cardinia Park. Long kick towards Berry in front. Zach Guthrie couldn't take the mark. Berry in the back onto it, cuts past a couple. Could have been legs, hand pass to Keys. He can't break the tackle. Zach Guthrie, great effort. Got it to Millerer. Berry can't take it cleanly for the Crows. Cam Guthrie comes sliding in. There's Guthrie's everywhere, and the umpire will ball it up inside 50 for the Crows.
If you take a player to ground, if a player spins a 360, then you take him to ground, that's holding the ball.
You would have thought so.
That's prior opportunity.
Tossed up 45 out from the Crows' goal. Quick clearance from Stevens. Kicks around the body just to get some territory out towards centre wing. Broadcast side, one-on-one. Myers wraps up Hamill. Spun him, brought him down. Ball up to come just inside the boundary line. Do you like fantasy footy, sellers?
I'm not into fantasy.
I know
I'm
what
into
the
real,
answer's going
okay?
to be. Good game usually is 100 points. Tom Stewart's up to 149.
Is that right?
Knocked down. Hinge becomes the tackler on Tui. Ball isn't going anywhere. Still stuck on the broadcast
That
side.
doesn't surprise me. He's best on ground by a mile.
Hey, don't influence the voter.
I was going to say, Aaron, there's something for our car trip back to the city. You can teach sellers fantasy
I'll
footy.
show him the ropes.
I think you'd be more accustomed to the form guide, as the umpire will throw it up below our commentary box.
I have been more accustomed, but I've given that one up, I think.
Seem to work your way through that one rather well.
Yeah, poorly though.
Close, kicks up towards Tom Hawkins, outmanoeuvred. Cameron tries to knock it back to Hawkins. The two beautifully work. Hand pass from Hawkins out in front of Stengel. Catch me if you can, they won't. And he dribbles through another one. Tyson Stengel with his third. And all three of the Geelong Maestros into attack combining there. Cameron and Hawkins and Stengel finishing the work. They've blown Adelaide off the park in this final term. 3 goals to none, and all of a sudden they're out to 43 points, which is a game-high margin. 14-6-90 to Adelaide 6-11-47. 10 minutes gone final term at the Gabba, the Brisbane Lions 15-13, 103 lead the GWS Giants 13-280.
Sometimes there's a lot of truth in numbers, in this quarter especially, Sellers. 42 possessions to 22, 9 inside 50s to 1, clearances 8 to 3, contested football 18 to 12, all in Geelong's favour in this
3
quarter.
goals won to go with it.
Yeah.
Crows haven't gone over 70 points in their last 5 games. This could be their lowest score of the season if they don't get something in this final term. 6-11-47, Geelong 14-6-90. In the middle, O'Brien wins it down. He's looking for Keys. Geelong have numbers at the fall of the ball, trying to bust his way through his Crouch. He's been a bit quiet so far in this second half, Matt Crouch. Wrapped up. Didn't get a disposal of the way either. Ball up still inside the square. Blitzabs wins it down straight to Laird. Got to kick away under pressure. Just tumbles towards Rowe. Had O'Connor all over him before the footy even got there. Another tackle, another stoppage. Another ball up. Just behind half forward for the Crows, down by 43. Tossed up again. Blitzabs again wins it down against O'Brien. Keys was waiting. Handball in front of Berry. Has some space at half forward. Kicks on the left. Bouncing in front of McAdam. He can gather. Got away from Stewart. Hands it to McHenry. Snaps from 20. And Adelaide have one on the board in the final quarter. Ned McHenry gets his first of the afternoon. His 7th of the year. A consolation prize for the Adelaide Crows. 14-6-90. Plays 7-11-53. 12 and a half played in the final quarter on Grandstand AFL. Aaron Bryans, Matt Clinch, Adam Rabinaskis and Mark McClure.
Well, it was an easy goal for them. It just the ball fell in their way, and it's against the style of play, actually, really, isn't it? The Cats have been really strong in pushing the ball into their forward line. They've hardly had an inside 50, if you think about that. The inside 50s are 9-2, so they've only had 2 inside 50s. It's their first goal for the quarter. They've been slaughtered this quarter, very much so, by a very professional footy side called Geelong.
Mark McClure with you on ABC Sport. Adelaide's first goal since the 12-minute mark of the third quarter. They got within 8 points at that stage. Geelong have answered since then. Back in the middle, O'Brien wins down the tap to Laird, who's tackled by Selwood. There's nowhere to go. And the umpire will throw it up still in the outer of the 2 centre circles. 13 minutes gone, final term. Geelong by 37 points. A lot of numbers around this ball up. O'Brien wins it down to Berry. He's tackled by Buse. Ball spills clear. Cam Guthrie over it. Selwood can't break clear as he's tackled by Laird, and the umpire will do it once more. After this match, we're off to Naarm taking on Freo from the MCG. Chance for the Dockers to try and respond after a couple of losses. Melbourne still unbeaten. Cam Guthrie kicks to half forward. Evans taken over the shoulder. And the free kick right on 50 against Mitch Hinge. And this, you would imagine, would be too far for Francis Evans, but he doesn't tend to think so.
Have a go. Why not? Yeah.
Calder Cannon's product, picked 41 back in 2019. The third-year Cat finally getting an opportunity in his sixth game. Sets fly from 50. He won't have the distance. It's to the goal line. Adelaide haven't rushed it. Two-day now eventually does, under pressure from Isaac Smith. And a 38-point lead Geelong's way. I think Big Shannon Neal had more of a chance of it than Francis Evans, but maybe that's just me.
Just on the quiet quarter for Matt Crouch. He had 15 in the first half, 5 in the third, and hasn't touched it in this final term. Now Adelaide look to exit defensive 50. 2 Cats away, though. Zach Guthrie, Sam De Koning. You can't get past them. Ball came to ground and held up for another stoppage. Right half forward for the Cats. Up by 38 points. Win number 7 on the horizon for them and their second consecutive win of the season. Witzavs out of the ruck. Missed the footy. Trickled its way to Parfitt, but the free kick will go to Adelaide. Just dropped it. Completely missed, and now Sam Berry has it at left half back. Not sure what to do. He thought about going back. Had a rethink, and down the line he goes. McAdam can soar. Completely wipes out De Koning with a knee in the back. Ball comes down. Saligo wraps up Selwood in front of the benches. Comes out to Cam Guthrie. Meanwhile, De Koning's got back to his feet. Seems to be okay, and Adelaide have the footy. McAdam went back. Crouch now with a kick up towards left half forward. Fogarty's outnumbered 3-1, and Tom Stewart can brush him off with ease and go. Up the broadcast wing to right half forward for the Cats. Clears the pack. At the back, Hinge. Wrapped up by Selwood. May have caught him high as he fell into the tackle, and he did. Free kick to the Adelaide Crows. Mitch Hinge, left half back.
Yeah, just that one with De Koning. They're not nice ones as the key defender. You stand there under the ball. You hope you get some protection from behind and just that knee straight in the middle of the back, Sellers.
Tom Stewart's had a poor quarter. He's only had 5.
Had 3 intercepts.
They've only been going 6 minutes or 10 minutes.
I'm sure there's 17 other clubs would take a quiet afternoon like that. It's just for a quarter. Hinge goes all the way back to Tom Duday.
In 16 minutes, the Crows have only touched the ball 34 times in this quarter.
It's incredible, isn't it, really?
Short to Brodie Smith and now to Matt Crouch. So maybe he's
the game's done now. It's done. You can see that their heads are down and they cannot possibly win this game. It's just going through the motions.
That's their last 11 in a row here at Kardinia Park, to be fair. They played a fair few games at the Adelaide Oval. Saligo for the Crows. Hand pass trying to find Laird. Pinch by close to the Cats. Hand pass to Atkins trying to link over the top with Stevens. Berry was taken high in the middle of that. And he'll take the free kick much to the bemoans of the locals here at Kardinia Park.
And you're probably trying to limit the damage of you, the Crows. Really?
I don't know what they're trying to do, to tell you the truth. I mean, they just haven't tried a lot of things. They've tried to play a basic game of football and be contested, and that's not hard to play against.
They've switched out to the Hickey side, and a chain of handballs through Jones finds Rowe now. Has a bounce across the boundary line and heads towards the 50. Keys can mark on the paint just inside the field of play. Had some options centrally and finally spots Thilthorpe. Kicks to him and marks. 48 out. 45-degree angle to the right. Hasn't hit the scoreboard today, Riley Thilthorpe, in the absence of Taylor Walker, and he won't still because he hands it off. Jordan Dawson goes bang from 55. Fogarty's sitting in the pocket. Can't reel it in. Tried to have a fly, but didn't get anywhere near the footy as it rolls over the boundary line. Cats by 38. Crows just looking for something to take away from this game. Been a rough month of footy.
Toss back into play. Shallow throw in. Knocked down. Blitz out straight to Rowe, who snaps and hits the post. Right at the top of the right goal post. And a minor score. Geelong by 37. Actually, remember, would you prefer Riley Thilthorpe just to have a shot for his own confidence? Or if Jordan Dawson's there, give it?
No, have a shot. That's what he's paid for.
Yeah, see, I think Jordan Dawson pinched it off him. Give it to me. And that's not right.
Geelong head to the outer wing. Packer waits, clears everybody at the back. Fumbled a bit by Selwood and Hawkins. They become the tacklers in the end. Hold up Chase Jones.
They saving on electricity down here, Sellers. They don't want to turn the lights on.
wondering what the booing was there. It did get quite dark all of a sudden. Blitzavs taps it down. May have been held in the ruck contest. No.
The lights are
Riley
on.
Thilthorpe.
See the lights there? They're coming on, Sam? Little ones?
I hope so.
The game might be over before then.
The free went to Geelong in the end. Buse shrugs the tackle of Fogarty and looks to switch across defensive 50 to who else? Tom Stewart.
I think Lingy hasn't paid the bills.
What, the Lord Mayor?
Yeah.
Kicks on the 45.
No, he's gone.
No, he's still there. I can still see him in the front row here. He's still there.
Flash of red.
Well, you can't miss the red.
Myers' mark went short to Stevens, now back to defensive 50. Waiting there is De Koning, and then back to Tom Stewart. Let's get a live number. Sellers, 38. It's going to be for him. Uses that Guthrie. Central kick to Buse. Called to play on.
I'm not going to give him a vote.
And now the Cats start to look forward a bit. Myers marks in front of the benches. They've been chipping it around across half back, and he's turned it straight over.
He's got to play on someone. He didn't play on anyone. Why would you do that?
I think it's the other way around now.
You might have noticed a bit of the stings going out of this game as Hamill takes the intercepting mark. Short to Matt Crouch. Has it left half back for the Adelaide Crows.
They're just fiddling with it now, Adelaide.
Geelong are playing possession footy where they can, and the Crows are pretty happy to control the outer boundaries as well, as Brodie Smith sends it out to right half back. And the mark has been taken by Chase Jones, a sub into the action for Jordan Butts in the final term. Both he and Murray were worse for wear. Murray's continued on. Kick long around the wing. Fogarty in the pack. Can't take the mark as Tui's there with good support from Sam De Koning and out of play.
But you just watch Tom Stewart. He follows the ball. He's never more than sort of 50 metres away from the ball. So he's always in line with it. Plays such a smart game as a defender.
He's like the old school general or quarterback, which we used to see the Hawks do so well. Here's Jones, gets the clearance, kicks towards the 50. Berry had it spoiled down. Here's Stewart, just kicks out of the defensive 50. Spoil, gather, kicks to Atkins, who marks at left half back. Geelong by 37 points. We've tipped past 20 minutes in the final term. Meanwhile, the Lions 103 lead the Giants 89.
Now they're toying with him.
Atkins short, found Buse, central kick to Zach Guthrie. They haven't gained any territory in that triangle work there.
They're just racking up stats.
34 kicks now he's had. 34 kicks.
Who?
Stewart.
I haven't seen one of them.
Down the line to a pack, knocked down by Blitzavs. Front and square was Tui, got it back to Close. Handball smothered by McHenry. Sliding in, Crouch is wrapped up by Close.
See, but that's the point. We talked about this at half-time, remember? And they haven't done one thing about it.
No.
I think
so
Berry's
they deserve what they get.
I think Berry's tried to go to him, but not very effectively.
No way.
Rubbish.
Okay.
37-point lead to the Cats on the outer wing. Laird slides in. He's wrapped up immediately by Atkins. Ball isn't going anywhere. Still left half back, right half forward for the Crows. 14-7-91 play, 7-12-54. Periods of the afternoon we had a game on our hands, but it's just not going to finish that way. Out of the ruck contest, Stevens got it to Parfitt, then Selwood ducked straight into the tackle of Crouch, got a handball away late. Now Atkins throws it on the left up towards half forward, 2-on-2. Cameron and Hawkins, who can take it away? Hawkins puts his head over the footy at the fall of the ball, wrapped up by Duday, got it out late. Tumbles its way to Brown. Now Duday can clear it for Adelaide.
And he's put it straight out on the full. Some Cats fans pretty happy with that as they claim it in the Hickey stand. And it's going to be returned back to Tom Hawkins, who has it. Still 2 kicks out from goal. Neal leads to the pocket, puts it into that direction. He's got a couple to compete against. Dawson couldn't take the mark. Hamill works it back to Brodie Smith, all the way back to Saligo on the last line. Away to Dawson, beautiful left foot bullet off a step, kicks to Hately,
nowhere to go.
Through the middle of the ground to Jones, where to? Eventually he spots Fogarty free in the middle of the ground, had to wait underneath it a long time. Kolajasny spoils it down. McHenry couldn't get a hand pass past Kolajasny. Geelong take it back through Duncan. Parfitt with a hand pass to Sam De Koning, who kicks out and Tui marks on the wing.
Spots a target down the line, hits up his skipper Joel Selwood. He's been good today. As Clinchy mentioned earlier, playing more heavily on the wing in season 2022 hasn't really hindered his performance. Down the line, Tom Hawkins, still too far out to score.
Oh, he's gone to
Goes
talk.
the barrel into the 50 to work. Oh, Evans could have taken it on the chest, spilt it. Got a handball out to Stevens. Now to Zach Guthrie, forward to Close, who was all alone at the back. Can snap from 20, the icing on the cake. Brad Close with the dagger for the Cats. He gets his first of the afternoon, the 15th for Geelong. 15-7-97, Adelaide 7-12-54. 23 and a half played in the final term on Grandstand AFL.
They just continue to work for each other, the Cats. You know, you can't be not impressed with just how they've been able to do that. The spread of goal kickers, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 different goal kickers, you know, for their 15 goals. So you love how unselfish they are. You know, that occasion there, they're just working in close. It's eventually Zach Guthrie who gives the handball to allow Close to get free to kick just an easy goal under no pressure in the end. A question without notice, Sellers.
Yeah.
If we talk about Petrarca and Cripps and Oliver as the best player in the competition, is Tom Stewart in that conversation as the best player in the competition?
He's the best defender I've seen in the competition, or interceptor. He's sensational. He reads the ball so well.
Blitzhouse out of the middle, hand pass to Cooper Stevens to Close, who laces out Hawkins on the lead. All a bit too easy now as they waltz it out of the centre square. And Tom Hawkins wants to give it off to Neil, and leads into the pocket. It's out in front of him. They're toying with him, cat and mouse style. And Neil, it ricochets off his knee out to Dawson. Hand pass to Brodie Smith, kicks towards Rowe, and there's Tom Stewart spoiling it out of play.
I love the idea.
I like it too.
I love the idea of it, but seriously, if you're going to bury someone, you want to bury him properly. That was on.
It hasn't been his afternoon, Tom Hawkins, just the 2 goals. Jezza has 4.
He wanted to share it, and I love that part, okay? But you know what? They just got to finish him right off and put a hole in him.
Brian Myers with 3. 4 multiple goal kickers for the Cats, just the 1, Darcy Fogarty for the Crows. Cam Guthrie 1-2 with Parfitt.
They've had 15 possessions in 10 metres.
Yeah, back to Stewart, back to Parfitt. Trying to return it to Stewart, and it's over the boundary line.
Shannon Neal with 6 touches, 3 hit-outs for the day, 2 score involvements.
I think he's done enough in terms of his contest to demonstrate that he's going to be a player that they'll persist with for a long time.
Yeah, but this is about finals now for them.
Yeah, of course it is.
Yeah, they got to make this. Can this bloke stand up in finals? Yeah. Can they, or can they not?
I would have liked to have seen him more in the ruck today.
Yeah. Toss back in front of the Hickey stand. O'Brien swung in the tackle from Selwood, holding the ball. Free kick to the Cats. Adelaide mucked around with it with a handball chain, and now Geelong can go. Piercing kick up to half forward. Outnumbered was Blitzavs. Couldn't be brought down cleanly by McHenry though. Blitzavs shovels one out straight to Chase Jones. Adelaide can get away. Haitley on the 45 finds O'Brien.
Unfortunately, they've got no forward line to go to.
Marked up against Parfitt. Dropped it late. Umpire said it was a mark. Short down the line. Hits up Rowe on the logo. Out of side at Cardinia Park.
So where's Fogarty now?
Rowe, meanwhile, zigs and zags, gets around, kicks up towards Miller, short of right half forward on the boundary line. He's been quiet as well on return. Heads into the attacking 50. Thilthorpe can fly, can't bring it down. McAdam riding the back. Poor Jed Hughes brings him to ground. Ball up to come. 35 out, tight angle to the right.
It's an interesting one with Thilthorpe. He looked so promising last year. Just this first half of this season, he hasn't been able to get a real look at it.
Thilthorpe in the ruck here, spoils it down to Cam Guthrie of Geelong, kicks straight to the wing, straight out of play. The umpire gives him the benefit of the doubt. Throw it in. Geelong by 43 points at Cardinia Park. At the Gabba, it's the Brisbane Lions by 15 points over GWS, 16-14, 110. The Giants 5-5, 95. After the Giants tried to make another final quarter surge, the Lions seem to have their number there from the throw-in. Cooper Stevens is wedged between Haitley and Jordan Dawson, and the umpire will throw it up on the AFL logo on the outer wing.
Blitzau's in front position, beaten by O'Brien from behind, got it straight down to the best and fairest, Rory Laird. Miller's kick is awful. Got the handball on the outside, shanked it out of bounds on the full. Story of the day for the Adelaide Crows. Free kick to the Cats, and Sam de Koning will head back to Zach Guthrie. Flat kick down the line, put Hughes under a bit of trouble. Sliding in, he got it, and then hands it off to Zach Guthrie, who kept going. Down the line, out of side, back with the flight, Parfitt will mark and hands and goes. Gives it off to Blitzhouse. Jogs his way to the 50, was nearly caught. Tackled as he kicked it, it'll tumble towards the top of the square. Close up against Jones. The Crow head over the footy. The medical sub as well is wrapped up, can't get it out. Chase Jones replacing Jordan Butts. He was out at three-quarter time. Ball up to come inside Adelaide's attacking 50.
Riley O'Brien and Tom Hawkins. Hawkins knocks it down to the front. Duday, though, gathers. McHenry trying to arch his back to run away from the defence. Kicks towards Berry, 1 in 3. Takes the mark with a precise kick and has it at left half back for the Adelaide Crows.
Tom Stewart's had his 40th.
Yeah, 40 disposals, 34 kicks.
Incredible.
McHenry coming in one direction, De Koning the other. De Koning was taken high. Buse takes the advantage. Hand pass to a stationary Selwood, who's thrown to the turf by Rory Laird, and the umpire will throw it up just below our commentary position in front of the two benches. Geelong by 43 points.
So that's an equal career high for Tom Stewart. It is a career high in marks. He's had 16 today.
16, yeah. Chest marks.
It's 17 intercept possessions.
Knocked down by O'Brien, straight to Duncan for the Cats. Uses Parfitt, just bangs it long up the broadcast wing. Neil in front position, earns the free kick for a hole. Decent start for the 202-centimetre forward and ruck. Now the WA, Shannon Neal plays on. Opened the angle, went inside 50. Crows have numbers, it beats the pack. Hamill now in a one-on-one can race away from Hawkins. Plenty of time to think about what he wants to do. Long out of defensive 50. He's put O'Brien under immense pressure and he still wins out. 3 against 1. Takes the mark. Hands it off to Haitley. 1-2 with Laird through the corridor. On the 45, he spots Thilthorpe all alone. They have the outnumber, the Crows. Thilthorpe plays on. Short kick is intended for McAdam and it nearly carried too long. McAdam had to race onto it to make sure he took the mark. But gee, that was ugly.
They must score. When's the last time they scored?
Last time they scored a goal, Sellers, was at the 12-minute mark of this term through Ned McHenry.
Okay.
Had a behind recently as well.
That's still 18 minutes ago.
Shane McAdam from 40. On the right, can't do enough. Another minus score for him this afternoon. Been a poor performance in front of goal. It'll be 1 goal 4, 1 goal 3 for the day for Shane McAdam. And it's a 42-point lead to Geelong.
De Koning long out of defence, kicks up to Mark Blitzavs, who takes the mark at left half back.
So McHenry was the only goal scorer this quarter.
So Adelaide kicked 4 goals to 3 in the second half as opposed to the first. But they haven't quite had the weapons to match it with the Cats this afternoon. O'Brien kicked it straight into the midriff of Jezza Cameron, who's rather slow to rise. It ricochets out of play.
Are they still there?
Yeah, he might be just checking that. And the boundary throw in on the Hickey wing. Or Hickey stand wing. Geelong by 42 points. Jezza Cameron down on all fours. He's slowly right to continue on. The siren sounds, and Geelong with just a bit too much class for the young Crows at Kardinia Park. The Cats record back-to-back wins for the first time since round 4. Winners by 42 points.
We are Geelong, the greatest team of all. We are Geelong, we're always on the ball. We play the game as it should be played, at home or far away. Our banners fly high from dawn to dark, down at Kardinia Park.
Cats led by 10 points at quarter time. They kicked 6 goals to 3 in the second term to open up a 28-point advantage by 24 at three-quarter time and eventually run out 15-7, 97 to Adelaide 7-13, 55. 42-point winners in front of 19,051 fans at Kardinia Park. Jeremy Cameron booted 4, 3 to Stengel and to Myers, 2 to Hawkins, individuals to Close and to Selwood. Meanwhile, for the Crows, 3 goals to Fogarty, individuals to McAdam, Henry, Saligo and Keys. The Cats jump up to 5th position on the AFL ladder, 7 wins and 4 losses.
Our banners fly high from dawn to dawn, down at Kardinia Park.
Geelong winners by 42 points. So back-to-back wins at Kardinia Park. Port Adelaide 1 week, Adelaide the next, the 2 South Australian clubs. It actually gives them a superior percentage above Freo, who are about to play Nam. So they actually jumped to 4th spot on the ladder. But, yeah, they're doing all the right things, the Cats, to try and give themselves another crack at it in September. The thoughts of Adam Ramanaskas and Mark McClure, your experts on ABC Sport.
Oh, well, I think that we saw a really professional side play against a side who was building a young side and the youngest side in the competition, to be a fact. And they've got a long way to go. One of the things I didn't like about Adelaide was that sometimes you need to be respected by your match committee in some ways. You respect it in the sense that, you know, there's someone in the ground who's actually destroying you and stopping you from scoring, and that's Tom Stewart. Tom Stewart had 40 possessions. 40 possessions he had, 17 intercept marks. and with no one on him at any stage. He plays on a wing and pushed himself back and lifted in that back half. But they didn't at one stage put someone on this guy to stop that flow, so and give him an opportunity to actually have a contest with him, because he just destroyed them. And I think their match committee need to have a talk about this and say, hey, listen, we need to help. We need to help each other in this area. The Cats, they were really good. Love the way they went about it. I mean, there's some great players in this team, and we all understand why. Stewart and all those sorts of guys, Guthrie's and Stengel, they were fantastic. I thought they were terrific. They'll put themselves in the 8 easily, and they'll hang in there.
We're off in 90 seconds, so you come up with a 3, 2 and 1.
I got it.
The record for tackles, Rammer, is 19, Tom Liberatore.
Well, Tom Atkins had 17 today. Geelong have had 101 tackles. We've probably we've missed that throughout the day. But
massive.
That's I think it goes back to Adelaide's kicking efficiency, 61%. Geelong just continued to apply pressure after pressure after pressure and just force turnovers. So, look, it was a terrific performance by the Cats. They did what they had to, winning all quarters of a game of football on the scoreboard is very, very important. Jeremy Cameron, I thought, was terrific with 4. Stewart was terrific. Guthrie. They had a lot of winners all over the park today, the Cats.
A 3, 2 and 1 for the ABC Football of the Year, Mark McClure.
I'm going with Mark Blutsaz for one vote. I thought he was sensational in the middle of the ground. He changed the game around, and he's had 33 or 32 hit-outs in that area there. I've given 2 to Jeremy Cameron. His work up forward, fantastic. And Tommy Stewart, absolutely brilliant. 3 votes, but left alone by the match committee of the Adelaide Crows.
3 votes to Tom Stewart. Aaron, great to have your company. Lauren Borden will be down the rooms and we'll get an interview. We're off to the MCG. It's the Narm Demons taking on the Fremantle Dockers of Joel Peterson and Jess Webster, Nathan Burke and Chris Johnson. Kes Peterson is on the boundary. The Cats too good for the Young Crows, winning by 42 points here at Kardinia Park. Enjoy your weekend of footy on ABC Sport.